Access Sacramento presents Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.
Pow! Touchdown Bulldogs!
Well, there you see Schaefer going upstairs again and wide open in that end zone.
Down the sideline, touchdown Cougars! In the midst of continuing summer-like conditions, fall football is underway, and week one action features some dynamite matchups, and it kicks off and jump-starts the Labor Day holiday weekend. Access Sacramento is on hand to take in and televise one of these hot matchups. We're up the hill on Highway 50 as tonight, number 10 Jesuit visits the second-ranked Folsom Bulldogs here at Prairie City Stadium. Good evening. Welcome to the show. I'm Will James, along with the Imperator of Analysis, Jim Domino, and we've got quite a matchup here for you tonight. Visiting Jesuit under fifth-year head coach Marlon Blanton. They're coming off a disappointing season, but they've reloaded, and the talk around the area is they are significantly improved.
Very definitely a strong running attack, a much faster team, very physical on defense, and of course a veteran in Brownholtz at the quarterback range. So you see Coach Blanton has opened up his offense, Will, and it's more to defend in just the Veer running game.
Well, they come in with some momentum, notching a big victory in week 0, and Rick Stewart will amplify on that when we check in with him. But head coach Chris Richardson of the number 2 Bulldogs, he just seems to have the system that takes care of itself. He's lost another stellar quarterback from a year ago, Jake Jeffrey, but he's got a special young man taking that spot, and the ball club was impressive in their week 0 appearance.
Well, they certainly won, led by quarterback Joe Curry, with 6 touchdown passes, burying Coeur d'Alene of Idaho very easily, 55-36.
Now, these two teams, since Folsom departed the conference and moved on to the Sierra Foothill, have not played in a few seasons. The last meeting, as we see here, was a couple of seasons ago, and in that last meeting, we can see the graphic here, Folsom in a high-scoring ball game able to prevail.
Well, they certainly did, 42-35 in a game where Browning threw 5 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. Quite a ball game here, and it's been 3 years since. And like we said, Jesuit offense has changed considerably. They're coming in here tonight, hopefully to give a much closer game to Folsom.
Well, both teams come in flexing their muscles, coming off impressive week 0 victories. Let's take a look at the last outings, beginning with Jesuit in their new stadium, defending home field in a semi-matinee, you might say, against tough Granite Bay.
Well, it was. In terms of semi-matinee, the game started at about 4:30. It was still quite warm, and having been out there, certainly Jesuit got off to a very quick start, and Brownholtz put the ball in the air early, and led by a solid running game of Burks and Rutherford, handled a Granite Bay traditionally strong team relatively easy, 28-10.
We'll talk about getting off to a quick start. Number 1, quarterback Joe Curry taking the signal caller spot for the Bulldogs. Second play of the game against a tough Idaho ball club. He went upstairs for a 77-yard TD, aerial connection to Stallworth to get them off and running, and again, the big point output.
Well, they certainly did. They handled a Coeur d'Alene team that was ranked number 4 in the state of Idaho relatively easy, 55-36, with Joe Curry having a huge night, throwing for over 500 yards, and of course 6 touchdown passes, Will, to probably 5 or 6 quality receivers.
An excellent crowd on hand tonight, fans still streaming into Prairie City Stadium. Of course, Folsom, long known for great attendance, and Jesuit High getting more road support tonight than we've seen in previous weeks of our television coverage. Stick around. When we come back, we'll join our partner Rick Stewart. He has more on tonight's big matchup. Stay with us.
Taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning, 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Welcome back to Prairie City Stadium here on the campus of Folsom High School for tonight's live telecast of Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. With Jim Domino and Rick Stewart, I'm Will James, and we're not far off from getting this one underway. Number 10 Jesuit coming in to face second-ranked Folsom High School. Let's turn our attention down to field level and pick up our partner Rick Stewart.
Thanks, guys. We do have a good matchup here tonight. We expected it to be good. Jesuit's ready. Their fan base is ready. What's it going to be tonight? Folsom's riding high. They've been riding high. They've got a really good system here. Let's take a look at these two coaches for these two programs. First, let's talk about Jesuit. Coach Marlon Blanton in his 5th year, 29-17, there's his record. 3 playoff appearances in 4 years. He's 1-2 for a playoff record. For Folsom, Chris Richardson, he's the man who's orchestrated this whole football machine here at Folsom High. Chris Richardson's in his 12th year. His career record is 120, 23, You'll see that in a second. They're in a 50-game winning streak. That's 50 games against SAC section teams. Unprecedented. 5 section titles, including 4 straight. That's from 2012 to 2015. And 2 CIF state championships, 2010 and 2014. This is going to be a hot matchup. These are 2 good coaches. They are 2 good programs. We expect some fireworks tonight. Now let's talk about a little bit of the series history. Folsom's 2-0 when it's Blanton versus Richardson. The last one, obviously, we talked about that earlier, 42-35. Folsom won. The overall series history, Folsom's leads at 8-3. They've got 7 straight wins over Jesuit. The average score is 55-18. Victory margin 38 points. It's really seems really dominating, but several of those games were really widespread. Several were really close. I expect a really good game tonight here on the field at Folsom High School. I think it's going to be fireworks. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Well, thank you very much, Rick Stewart. The crowd is sensing that very same thing. Jim Domino, they're getting ready to climb in and fasten their seatbelts because it might be a bumpy evening tonight here at Prairie City Stadium. Let's go ahead and take a look, Coach, at some of the players who are going to play major roles in tonight's contest, our impact players for both squads.
Well, let's start with the Major Marauders. The Jesuit Major Marauders are led by quarterback Calvin Brown-Holtz, number 13, off to a great start against Granite Bay. Lorenzo Burke's the big two-way player, 225, big running back. John Amati, the speed merchant at wide receiver, and 2 linebackers are 2 of the best in the city, Miles Goudreau and Jason Gallagher, both 2 of the best in the city.
I'm quite sure you would have full agreement around the circuit on those comments. Those 2 run stoppers there are dynamite.
Well, then Bulldog leaders. Joe Curry inheriting the quarterback role, having a phenomenal last week versus Coeur d'Alene, throwing for over 500 yards, 6 touchdowns in his opening game ever as a varsity quarterback. Drake Stallworth having a phenomenal season so far, 10 catches in that game, 4 touchdowns. Eric Davis, a speedy wide returner from last year. Brad Jenner, their leading tackler last year, coming back. Again, one of the top linebackers in the city. And Ariel Nagata, the two-way starter at D-end and wide receiver. And don't confuse the Nagata boys. One Joe, a sophomore, is outstanding, along with Ariel Nagata.
Well, that's quite a list of standout players, and of course I'm sure both squads could double that number of key performers. We're going to take a break and come right back, and when we do return to Prairie City Stadium on Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week, Coach Domino will take a look at the key matchups you'll see tonight. We'll be right back.
Got a quarter?
Welcome back, Will James, along with Jim Domino and Rick Stewart here. Happy to have you with us at Prairie City Stadium on the campus of Folsom High School for tonight's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Host Folsom taking on the visiting Jesuit Marauders, and we've touched on the impact players in tonight's ball game that will factor big. Let's take a look at Coach Domino's key matchups and how things will factor out in that regard.
Well, let's start off with that Jesuit pass rush versus the Folsom D-line and quarterback, O-line, and Joe Curry. Obviously, like many Folsom squads, they protect their quarterbacks well. And tonight they're going to need a pass rush out of Estipular, Johnson, and Bellinger leading the way, along with occasional blitzes from Gallagher and Goudreau. And then look at the Jesuit secondary this year, probably one of the best. Carter, Vassar, Hagopian, and Amadi with a lot of speed versus the big play receivers. And there are plenty of big play receivers, starting with Stallworth, Nagata, and Say. And so that's key. Folsom defense versus the Jesuit veer and shotgun. Well, annually, Jesuit has been running the veer under Coach Planton, this being the 5th year. But they've added more shotgun to the attack and a seasoned Brownholtz at the quarterback spot. Quite a challenge for the Folsom D. Now let's look at the intangible things. Folsom's invincibility really mystique. They win, and they're used to winning, and their standards are very high, and every team knows that if they come in here, wow. They've had many, many streaks, not just this one. Jesuits' thin fanfare on the road. Well, we've followed them for years, Will, and they have had not been a good road team with a strong fan base, but as I look across the field tonight, they have come out pretty strong across the way.
This is the most impressive fan support I've seen, well, since I can recall, when the Marauders have been on the road. And to the far left, as we look out across the field, I believe that would be considered the galley crew that we've heard about in Joe Davidson's articles in the Sacramento Bee. And we'll keep an eye on that.
Well, looking at the home field advantage, of course, in Prairie Stadium, they've been virtually unbeatable here. They did get a streak stop last year in the regional NorCal playoffs versus Bellarmine from the San Jose area, which prevented the Bulldogs from going on to the state tournament. But I can tell you this, that when they play here, they're tough anywhere, but when they play at home and everybody in this Folsom town shows up, they got a great fan base, great following. They follow them on the road as well. They're tough anywhere, particularly here at Prairie View.
Well, there's a good look at what we had referred to just moments ago, the white-clad Jesuit Marauder rooting section to the far left of the main contingent of spectators over there. And I have to repeat, this is the finest road crowd I've seen in years for the Jesuit Marauders, to their credit. And that's the kind of support this ball club needs.
They certainly will need it here tonight. And it's very important for Jesuit to start early, stay in the ball game early, and stay with Folsom and not play that come from behind game, Will. Very important in this contest.
Momentum always a key, and playing from behind as a visitor not recommended. We're going to step back for a moment and take a 60 here, and when we return, we'll take a look at the latest weekly rankings compiled by the Imperator Jim Domino when we return.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Dusk is starting to take full effect here in Folsom as we draw closer to tonight's featured hometown sports game of the week on Access Sacramento. With Jim Domino and Rick Stewart, I'm Will James. Very happy to have you with us tonight as number 10 Jesuit is going to square off with second-ranked Folsom High School under the bright lights here at Prairie City Stadium. Well, most ball clubs did see activity in week 0, Jim. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and preview the Domino's Dozen and the Red Zone ball clubs.
Well, this year, let's start out with my number 1, Del Oro High School. Del Oro returning about 85% of their lineup from last year that won the state title. Experience at the quarterback range. Folsom number 2, they're used to being 1. Elk Grove in there at number 3, having a big victory last week over Intercom in what most thought. They went into Intercom and really drilled them, and we thought that would be a close game. Well, Grant High School edging Franklin in a very tight game where they renamed the stadium after Coach Albergini. Oak Ridge handling Vista very easily in that number 5 spot. Coach Cavalier has himself a strong squad. And Rockland losing only by point to Grant. Antelope coming off a very nice victory. Intercom in that number 8 spot, sliding down after their loss to Elk Grove. Monterey Trail off to a great start, beating a tough Wilcox team from the Bay Area. Jesuit here tonight, handling Granite Bay, of course, 28-10. Coming into the arena, number 10, number 11, Franklin Mike Johnson's ball club. Nice victory, opening victory. And Whitney, led by Coach Doherty's second year over there, one of the definite favors in that Capital Conference. Cosumnes Oaks, number 13. Del Campo 14, beating a very good Merced team from the south. Sheldon High School with Joe Catalico, the ex-Pleasant Grove mentor. Christian Brothers idle last week, expecting a big year. Placer Joey Montoya's ball club 17. Sac High went south, and certainly they took a licking down in the LA area, but willing to bounce back. Burbank likewise. John Heffernan's ball club. Granite Bay at number 20 went over, and like I said, I think most people were favoring being Granite Bay a slight favorite over Jesuit. However, they succumbed to Jesuit's vaunted defense, strong running game, and under very hot and warm conditions, the Marauders handled them last week. But let's see if they can bounce back.
Okay, there's Domino's Dozen and the Red Zone. We're going to turn our attention down to field level and pick up our partner, Rick Stewart. He's standing by with a special guest. Rick?
All right, we're here with Brian Jacobs. Brian, head referee, Northern California referees?
Correct.
Okay. Tell me some of the new changes, if there are already this year.
Well, there's actually very few changes in the rules, and actually 2 of the 3 changes that they put in for this year have to do with equipment. One was they used to have restrictions on what color the mouthpieces could be, and now they just removed it. They don't care what color the mouthpieces are. I know, it's kind of funny.
So like the Olympics, the teeth showing, that's no good?
That's okay now.
Oh,
that's okay. It used to be not okay. Now it's okay. The other is that they've introduced a new organization to when the manufacture of like gloves and equipment, so that they'll allow tags from that new group, SFIA, to have to certify equipment as well, instead of just the NOXI group that has done it for years and years and years. The only real rule change we have this year is that they've eliminated clipping altogether from the game. And clipping is a block that is behind and below the waist. Okay. And so there used to be, for a certain time in a restricted area, you had the ability to clip. But now we don't allow them to clip anywhere on the field, and it's just a player safety issue. They're just trying to make the game safer and safer, and they didn't see any value in that, so it's been removed from the game altogether. And other than that, the game is the same as it was last year.
Now we're going to see later in the season Cordova. Now they've got something going on with the new equipment manufacturer, the helmets, the safety helmets. Tell me about that.
The only thing I really know for sure is I think Cordova had sensors in the helmets where they can gather information about the forces involved with contact. And I think it's just mostly for research. There's not anything they're going to be able to do with it on the field or anything that I know of. I think it's just for information gathering.
You looking forward to the game tonight?
I'm very much looking forward to the game. Every Friday I look forward to the game.
All right, Brian. Thanks for being with us, spending some time with us. I appreciate it. You have a good season.
All right, thank you much.
All right, thanks, Brian. We'll send it back up to you guys.
Well, thank you very much for that report, Rick Stewart, and of course Brian Jacobs, one of the excellent veterans around the circuit, keeping things fair and square for the NCOA. And speaking of Cordova and the high-tech helmet scenario, we'll be over at Cordova when they square off with rival Vista Del Lago in mid-September, so we'll get a closer look at that entire aspect of the safety helmets.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see it, because I do know that they have also got these coverings over the dome of the helmet that some of the schools have gone to with practice and so forth that limit the amount of cushion in impact. And I know Del Campo is doing some trial basis with that.
And we'll be seeing them down the road as well. Well, stick around. We're going to step back for a moment and take a break here from the impending game action at Folsom's Prairie City Stadium when they prepare to take on number 10 Jesuit. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Well, major kudos for Folsom High's award-winning marching band under the direction of Curtis, who will be chatting with Rick Stewart a little bit later in tonight's ball game. But right now, with a couple of minutes before our opening kickoff, we're going to launch this ball game under very comfortable conditions. And as we see here by the graphic, calm, clear, ideal. Short sleeve weather, and it would be tough to be uncomfortable in these conditions. So we see co-captains meeting at midfield with our game referees, and we'll identify this quintet assigned to cover this top-notch matchup from the NCOA. Our game referee tonight, as you saw him earlier speaking with Rick Stewart, the excellent Brian Jacobs, and he'll have his crew hopping tonight. He's backed up by umpire Cornell Gathing. The head linesman this evening, Dwayne Straub. Robert Bailey will serve as the line judge, and our back judge tonight, Nathaniel Jacobs. So they're getting the battle lines drawn here clearly, coherently, with full understanding by the co-captains, and those chin straps are going to be snapped on tight right now, Imperator.
Well, they are. That's what they're waiting for here. And the rivalry and the fanfare going back and forth from the stands, from the reading sections of both schools, I'm sure will have trying to get bragging rights back and forth to one another. And this is all part of the great game of football. And it's nice that football season here is once again, and it brings a lot of folks together. And with this valley loaded with great teams and players. There you see Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
Chris Richardson, of course, having tremendous success here over the last decade, building up a program that's been nearly invincible, certainly in the last 50 games against Sac Joaquin section ball clubs. And they have been a team of ever-changing colors, ranging from the field itself to their gray uniforms for the traditional royal blue and red patriotic colors, and we like it a lot. Beautiful stadium, beautiful evening, great crowd on hand tonight, and something's got to give.
Well, I think they will. As we look down the sidelines here ready for the kickoff, I see Coach Cosby down there talking to that great linebacker, Jenner, number 8.
Doug Cosby, of course, the former Dallas Cowboys tight end, and he coached briefly here in Sacramento for the Sac High Dragons. So it'll be Jesuit kicking off from our left to our right, wearing their visiting gold trousers, white jerseys trimmed in crimson. And the gray-clad Folsom Bulldogs will be on the receiving end. Deep to receive. Eric Davis, Jack Say doing the kicking. Calvin Brownholtz, the Jesuit quarterback, he does all the kicking for the Marauders. Kickoffs, PATs, field goals, punt. Boy, this crowd is rocking and ready. A low line drive, bounding once and taking on the dead run. It's Eric Davis. Finds an opening up the middle and has a nice return out across the 35-yard line, and that is where the Bulldogs will open shop, and we're going to set their offense for you.
Nice open field tackle by Rutherford.
Joe Curry coming off a splendid performance in his opener. Simmons, the running back, and a quartet of wideouts led by Stallworth, Davis, Jenner, and Say. Up to the line come the Bulldogs, Lunday, Viega, Christierson, Langham, and Ruiz up front. From the 36, 1st and 10, we see some movement, but no encroachment. Curry really taking time getting his ball club in the right formation. Quick shot, right side. He's got a hook up. Davis splits 3 defenders and smokes it across the 45, nearly making midfield. First down. They spot the football at the 49. And the Marauder defense down 3, Johnson, Arceo, and Bellinger. Here comes the 1st and 10. Curry, a look to the bench. Triple wide receivers to the near side. Deep throw. Here's Davis on the run, over the shoulder, hauled down inside the 10. Almost a carbon copy of the week 0 over the top to Stallworth. Wow.
Boy, he put the ball out front, put a lot of air under the ball, and Davis ran under it, Will.
Great concentration, great hands. Perfect strike from Curry from the 8-yard line. Left side run, shoved out inside the 5 on a power up. Say with the carry. And the Marauder defense has their hands full right now. 2nd and goal. Curry, pitch, fumble. Marauders have the football on a fumble recovery on the spot. Jason Gallagher, wow, what a turnover. That is what you call dodging a cannonball. The pitch did not look that bad. However, the discussion on the sideline is involving Drake Stallworth. Football at the Jesuit 11. Play fake. Brownholtz out to the right side, and he's got a hook up down the sideline. Plenty of speed. There's the man, and he's going to go all the way. And we told you about Jonathan Armati. Speed to burn. And Coach Chris Richardson was wary of that factor, and they got stung anyway.
Well, once again, he might be the fastest guy on the field, Will. I was very impressed with him last week. And Coach Richardson, I'm sure, told his team all week long they have the speed burners on Jesuit. More speed than in the past.
It's the old 49er formula. Short throw, long run.
Watch the short throw here. Brown Holtz sets up, 3-step drop, hits Amati in a flap. There's a missed tackle, and now it's a race for the goal line. And Amati showing that speed, stretching it out.
Oh, boy, did he. PAT on the way. Brown Holtz, a bullseye. And at 10:56, early first, the visiting Marauders have really shocked the Bulldogs. They lead it 7-0. We'll be right back.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Early shock treatment applied by the visiting Jesuit Marauders. A 79-yard aerial connection. Brown Holtz to Amati. Brown Holtz the PAT and a 7-0 Jesuit lead. They prepare to kick off. Deep to receive. Eric Davis, 21, and Caden Bennett, number 4. 89 yards. Correction on that. Touchback on the bobble. I appreciate that correction from our executive statistician, Mr. Gary Martin. Yeah, arithmetic is always helpful, Gary. I appreciate that. So, Jesuit defense, let's take a look. They got stung early but held on with the turnover. Johnson, Arceo, and Bellinger are the front three. The backers are key in this, especially those middle backers, Gaudreau and Gallagher, and the deep secondary, Thomas, Amati, Carter, and Rutherford. First and 10 from the Bulldog 20. They come to the near side with the run. Not bad power up, but Davin Simmons is going to be victimized here with a holding call. So the run is going to come back. Brian Jacobs with the call, following the call by the Imperator of Analysis. I love your hand signals, Coach. So the walk-off is going to bury the Bulldogs deep.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
First and 20 now from the 10. We're just underway here at Prairie City Stadium. In case you've just dialed in, nice to have you with us. Settle in. 7-0 Jesuit over number 2 Folsom right now. On the run throw by Curry, a pinpoint strike. Out of bounds with the grab, Eric Davis. And it looks like first down yardage for the Bulldogs. Not quite. Roll it back. Curry very good on this on the run.
He does. He throws, to me, better on the run, particularly going right. Nice, picked up about
18 on that. 2nd and 2 from the 28. Right side run, first down with plenty to spare. And again, getting a nice carry there, Davin Simmons, and he's going to get the majority of the work in the rushing department.
Well, as you know, they lost Green. They lost Green and Neal, 2 good running backs. Hard-nosed Neal going up the middle, and Simmons saw some action last year, but he's their main back this year.
Gain of 12, first and 10, Bulldogs on the move from the Folsom 40. Curry looking, chased, scrambles, and fires on the run. Incomplete. Good coverage in that Jesuit secondary, especially from, as you saw there.
Well, the pressure forcing Curry out of the pocket is important, even though he throws well on the run. I'm surprised, quite frankly, right now, Jesuit is showing great defensive speed up front and shedding their blocks and really pursuing Curry. I look for them, Folsom, maybe to keep them honest coming back.
Defensive holding is going to burn Jesuit. It's going to result in a Folsom first down as the walk-off is going to place the football right at, let's see, are they going to the midfield stripe or no? 10:23 left from the 50, 1st and 10. Chris Richardson had talked about how physical the Marauders are up front and their team speed. Curry, a collision in the secondary, no call. Davis getting bumped into by the speedy Amati.
Well, I think it was a two-way street, Will. I watched pushing early in the route by Davis. I think they both were using their hands in the route, and that's why the official didn't throw it.
Curry now rolls the other way, throws on the run. Nice strike to the sideline, but bobbled and incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 10, just off Davis's fingertips. Curry now 3 of 6 for 75 yards, and I guess one of those could be considered a drop.
Watch Curry back, 3-step drop. Goes down the middle, no holding, no interference. That was the previous play. And the last one was catchable, Will.
So far it's been mostly Davis. We haven't seen that much out of Stallworth, number two, who had 10 catches for 4 TDs last week. Curry all day to throw. Now trapped, scrambles away from pressure. Joe Curry fires incomplete, but nice scrambling.
Well,
and we see a penalty marker dropped. Brian Jacobs looks to the Jesuit bench, and it looks like they may decline. Let's wait for his official call.
On the offense, that penalty is declined. We'll have 4th down.
Curry has a lot of indecision, not just on pass rush. It's because the defenders are holding up the receivers and jamming them at the line of scrimmage, Will. They're slowing them down in the first part of their routes.
Coach Richardson rolling the dice here, though Joe Curry is the Folsom punter. It looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 10 from the midfield stripe.
He's capable of backing up and quick kicking as well.
They send Bennett in motion. Curry's going to run it, and he'll be dropped just short of a first down, and he's hit out of bounds, 3 yards out of bounds. No flag that I can see. Look at that, Brian Jacobs right in there.
Well, Jesuit takes over on downs. I know in the past, here we see Curry once again flushing the pocket. Now he takes it upfield, trying to move the chains, and he's a little short as they drag him out of bounds.
So the Marauders in good field position from the Jesuit 41 after holding on downs. Brownholtz had a long rest after that early TD. Short yardage running for 1 or so. And it looks like number 34, Isaiah Rutherford, with the carry. They give him 1, make it 2nd and 9.
Well, young Rutherford is a young sophomore with great potential, and he'll do a lot of filling out. He's built more like a wide receiver right now. Outstanding speed.
Well, of course, they're very high on the big fullback, Lorenzo Burks, number 15. Play fake. Brownholtz running, chased, and throws it away. Nice pursuit to force that throw issued by Ezra Gulowicz.
Good pressure, good coverage. Good combination of both, putting Jesuit in a 3rd and long. They also do a good job on those screens, and I'm a little surprised, and it may be coming, possibly coming to Amati or Thomas, 2 of their speedsters.
Still early here in the first at the 9:14. Brownholtz wants to go upstairs. Amati, apparently the intended target. Double coverage out there by 2 Folsom safeties, and that's going to bring about a 4th and 9. Brownholtz does all the kicking for the Marauders, and it's quite rare that we see 2 opposing quarterbacks each doing the punting for their squad.
Very rare, and very rare that one taking care of all of the kicking game on one team is even rare with that punt, PAT, kickoff, field goal, etc. As Brownholtz is counting numbers here, Jesuit is not set yet and taking their time here, getting 11 guys on the field.
Solo returner Davis stationed at the Bulldog 25. Brownholtz after that incompletion, 1 of 3 for 89 and a touchdown. And they're going to let this one bounce. It's straight up and to the sideline and down there just shy of the 25, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over.
Well, not a very deep punt, but not returnable. One thing about it was really sky high, and no return. Probably only a 30, 35-yard kick, but not returnable. That's important.
The punt covers 33 yards, and it places Folsom High in a 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 24. I would have to say they're unaccustomed to being on the short end here in the first quarter. They drove the field but fumbled inside the 5, and then Brownholtz and Amati really shook them hard with that 89-yard scoring connection.
Well, it did, and they got the speed to do it.
Up the gut. A fumble recovery. It looked like a strip away. Wow. That was something. What a defensive play there.
All right, we need to see the replay. That was a big hit.
Camus Carter.
Big hit. Camus Carter coming from that safety spot. Let's take a look. He's got the recovery.
Okay, 2 turnovers by Folsom, setting up Jesuit nicely at the 9:02 early second, 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 25. There he is, big time Burks, break it outside, a stiff arm, very aggressive, and a semi-taunt to celebrate his carry.
Burks with a big run. He's a big guy, 225, Will, and he shows he can get outside as well as run inside.
Let's take a look. Micah Iverson finally catching up with him. Nice blocks. He hasn't been touched yet. First to get stiff arm there, 25, Maurice Gaines, the corner, and then Iverson over to help. 1st and 10 from the 12, gain of 13. Backs are split this time for the Marauders, 8:55. He's going to run it and gets dragged down from behind. Excellent defense there, a shutdown by Cruz Lara.
Well, a broken play and not very timely. Cruz Lara from his outside defensive end position with a great play, putting Jesuit in a hole right there.
For a moment, Brownholtz, it looked like Brownholtz thought he had some room to scamper, and boy, that closed up fast, didn't it?
Yes, Lara was right on him.
So they have basically the same formation. Backs are split, double wide left. He keeps, changes direction, and throws to the sideline, incomplete. 3rd and 11. I don't believe the improvising there was part of the play.
No, if anything, Brownholtz was wisely trying to throw the ball away. And that's where I see a difference in him versus playing last year as a young junior, Will. He has more poise about him and more field presence now as a senior.
I agree. Plenty of savvy. 8:09 on the clock stoppage still. First quarter action from Prairie City Stadium. Short drop, fire left. Thomas, a valiant effort for the one-handed grab on the low throw. 4th and 11.
Well, that was a good defensive series for Folsom, really, to turn over the football like that and hold them. And if they can hold them to 3, that's a feather in Folsom's cap.
Brown holds on to attempt a field goal from the 30-yard line as we see the big crowd there. Thomas will do the holding, the long snapper, Evan Panson. So it'll be a 30-yarder from the 20. He's got the distance, wide left. So the drive fizzles after the second Bulldog turnover set up that Jesuit drive, and the Bulldogs dodge a bullet. So at 8:01, still 7-0 Jesuit, and a new set of downs for Curry and the Bulldog offense.
I don't know about you, Will, but to me, it certainly seems like this has been a longer quarter than 4 minutes gone by.
It feels like 20. I keep looking at the clock. Time elapsed. I don't know where it's going, but I agree. Curry with time. Fires wide out to the right side. He's got a hook up, and it's been Davis, Davis, Davis. I'm trying to find out why we haven't seen Stallworth, who had 10 catches for 4 TDs, and he hasn't played since like the opening kickoff.
I'm looking.
Second and 9 after a gain of just 1 on that pass play. Bulldogs working from their 21. Curry, excellent protection, slides away, chased, and cannot escape.
Well,
excellent pursuit that time. Again,
well,
Gallagher.
Well, Gallagher's got, I tell you, they got outstanding linebackers, and then 57 did a tremendous job for them up front. 57 with a lot of pressure. Okay.
Alejandro
Arceo, number 57. Arceo, right here. Alejandro Arceo, yes.
Loss of 10. Football back to the Bulldog 11. You'll see that pursuit, and he wouldn't give up in the cleanup issued there by Gallagher. Big play here. Big rush. Curry steps out of trouble and fires incomplete to the near sideline.
There's Stallworth there, isn't it?
It is.
First sight of him today. We had a Stallworth sighting. My goodness. To me, the defender, it looks like one of the corners, either Amade or Carter, are all over Stallworth, and they're telling me that Stallworth is not going to beat them tonight. You're going to have to go elsewhere.
Another excellent observation. I'm in full agreement. Now Curry being chased around. 4 for 9 for 76. Here's the Curry punt. Not bad. It's over everybody, and it's going to roll a little bit into Jesuit territory where it's down at the Marauder 48.
Well, he got a lot of mileage out of that kick. By them not fielding the ball, Jesuit lost 15 yards. 47-yard kick. And if received, could maybe have been a 35-yard kick, but I'll give all the credit in the world on that punt and put them out of the hole.
Well, I see heavy conversation between Doug Cosby and Chris Richardson there as the Marauders come up to the line. We're still just midway first quarter at the 6:36. First and 10 Jesuit. Split the backs and send 2 wide receivers to the left. Long count. Calvin Brownholtz doing a nice job managing this offense thus far. Nothing doing. Wow. I'll tell you, Rutherford wondered what fell on him.
Well, the whole left side fell on him. Let me tell you, that whole left side, Laura Zingata Vera, Iverson, etc., along with linebackers.
No gain, 2nd and 10.
Here comes the big guy in there, number 77 for Jesuit, their big 300-pound tackle who got injured last week.
Tobias Pestana. All right, 2nd and 10, 5:50, clock rolling, first quarter. Brownholtz deep left sideline, overthrown. Going for his flanker, Josh Farr, incomplete. 3rd and 10.
Well, right now they're forcing Brownholtz to throw in a hurry, and it seems to me he got away with an 89-yard pass play, which was really only about a 7-yard out. Now, since then, they haven't gone really short, nickel and dime type of thing, because you're getting a lot of heat from the Folsom D. And, suddenly they've forgotten about that short game, it seems to me, and it's there.
Okay, let's see if their eyes in the sky can recognize that. Imperator, as the Marauders come up with a 3rd and 10 from the Jesuit 43. Turn, look, chased, and he throws it away. Intercepted by Folsom. Wow, that was excellent, and I believe it was Maurice Gaines with the pick. Let's see, who got that one?
Well, Brownholtz is going to get an earful on the sideline because a sack beats an interception.
That was Maurice Gaines with the shoestring pick. Nice hands.
Sack beats a pick any day of the week, and it's a shame that Brownholtz had to not throw that away.
From the Jesuit 36, they run left and get next to nothing. Excellent lateral pursuit by the Marauder defense as they track down Davin Simmons. They give him a gain of 2. So after the Gaines interception, 2nd and 8 coming up, but whistles are going to bust this play. Brian Jacobs and his crew doing a beautiful job managing this game, and we'll get the report from the man wearing the white cap. Well, it backs up Jesuit. It's inside the 30 at the 29-yard line, make it 2nd and 3. 5-yard penalty. Curry hands off, they run inside and get a burst from Bennett. Nice inside running to the 15. So Davin Simmons, the top running back. Let's take another look at nice blocking to open this up. And a penalty is going to wipe this out, I believe, but we'll see what they call here. 5:02, first quarter apparently winding down a little on a beautiful evening in Fresno. I should say in Folsom. Prairie City Stadium, the site. This is Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. With Jim Domino and Rick Stewart, I'm Will James, and very happy to have you with us tonight in a week 1 matchup of 2 top 10 squads. Jesuit coming in ranked number 10, and the host Bulldogs number 2. Curry over the middle, intercepted, but a flag flies, and we'll see about that. It was intended for Stallworth, and the pick was turned in by 24, Vassar. Brian Jacobs has been busy in the last 5 minutes. The flag comes at the 4:40 mark. And the call.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty results in a first down.
So the football is advanced to the 25-yard line. Is that right? 25-yard line? .24, we'll call it. 1st and 10. Bulldogs trying to get out from under a 7-point deficit. Inside running, nice hole, good power, and a slash to about the 17-yard line. Give the carry to Micah Iverson. Big back.
Big back, all right.
2nd and 4 from the 18. Gain of 6 on the play. Clock rolling at 4:13, late first. Again, Micah Iverson the carry. He angles right this time and nearly makes the 15. We'll see where they mark him.
Big Iverson coming out now. 6 feet, 225, starting on defense, an outstanding down lineman. Micah Iverson, number 32. That's a big running back.
It brings up a 3rd and 2. Key play, left side speed, nice hole, first down, and a low tackle overturning the ball carrier there, Rupchuk. But it's a first down and goal to go.
All right, watch Vassar come up on this replay. Watch Vassar come up here. Vassar with a nice low shoestring tackle.
From the Jesuit 4, first down, and a flag and whistle are going to halt this play. Not the spot on the field where you want to make a mistake.
False start on the offense. They had a man in the back. They had a...
Brian Jacobs declaring a false start. The ball moved back. What do you see, Coach?
Coach Richardson practically was in the line of scrimmage. He's backing off now.
I guess that would indicate he was rather upset. Adamant, demonstrative. Oh, evidently the football is still at the 9. Curry, the lob to the corner for Stallworth, incomplete. Tight coverage, a good bump, turned in by Vassar.
Vassar doing a good job. Actually, that secondary, what a challenge for them. We've talked about it before. Outstanding secondary that Jesuit has there between Vassar and Carter, and really just an outstanding Hagopian. Thomas. Well, they got the hands full with these Folsom receivers tonight.
2nd and goal from the Marauder 9. Curry, a bullet to the end zone, picked off. Wow, and downed by the outstanding linebacker Jason Gallagher. We showcased him in the pregame, and he has been earning his keep like a big timer.
And Will, you'll get to see him in the backfield sometime tonight. Young Gallagher, the junior, is a real heads-up, all-round football player.
I couldn't tell you exactly when, but I imagine it would have been quite some time since the Bulldogs have committed 3 turnovers in the first quarter. In less 3 minutes and 14 seconds. 2 fumbles and a pass interception. So Brown Holtz back. 1st and 10 from the Marauder 20. pitch and run. Boom. Nice solid shot delivered there, and Rutherford dropped after a short gain.
All right, look at this interception here, replay. Curry back to pass, goes to the middle, and I'll tell you what a great drop by the linebacker. Gallagher's right there.
And so was Amati, deeper. He was double covered.
Yeah, he forced the football, no question about it. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Burks carry the ball more. 225-pound running back.
Gain of 2 by Rutherford, 2nd and 8 from the Marauder 22 with 2.5 to go in the quarter. Burks, as you say, there's the call, and he's driven back by 5 Bulldogs.
Well, Burks picked up a couple of yards there, and key down coming up with 3rd and about along 4.
Let's take another look at the opposition facing Burks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they saw that one coming, Coach.
They did. They ran that cross buck trap. Crisscross action in the backfield. And Jesuit, certainly Folsom did not suck for that. Big 3rd down and 4.
From the 26, clock rolling with 1:50 to go in the first. Good protection for Brownholtz. Deep up the left side, one-on-one. Amati has it broken up on the play by the outstanding Sean Johnson.
Well, a great defensive effort by Johnson, forcing him out of bounds. Really, the ball, he ran out of field there, and Amati's got that speed to beat anybody in that secondary, quite frankly, and great defensive effort.
So in what I would describe as kind of a wild first quarter, a couple of deep bombs, one by each team, but only one of them cashed in for a TD, and 4 turnovers, 3 by Folsom. That run was stuffed on 4th and 4.
I don't understand that.
Andrew Holt with the stop, and don't look at me for an explanation. Let's take a look.
Did they confuse what down it was?
Evidently. So the stuff sets up Folsom almost in the red zone with 1.5 minutes to go.
4th and 4 on your own 22-yard line.
1st and 10 from the Marauder 25. Curry and company with another chance to get on the board here in the first. They were down 7-0. Motion in the backfield. Curry taking his time. Little screen. Davis works it. Dropped after getting inside the 20.
Well, that's a good call because they should be going more to those screens. Those bubble screens are wide open because of the pressure on Curry. And they got the speed to do it. Have a look. Bubble right in there. Wide open. Number 21.
Gain of 7. 2nd and 3 from the 18. Left side run. Barreling inside the 15-yard line is hard-working Davin Simmons. And the clock stoppage at 1:03 as they move the chains. First down, Bulldogs. From the 12, less than a minute remaining here in the first quarter. And as you say, this duration has really been something. It almost feels like halftime. Six carries for 29 yards for Davin Simmons, almost 5 yards a crack. Respectable running. Curry, nowhere to go, but sneaks inside and rambles inside the 5.
That's a nice run by Curry. It didn't look like there was a running lane there, but he went against the grain and picked up about 5. A great play by Curry.
Clock rolling with just 19 seconds. A play comes in from the sideline.
They don't need any hurry because they'll go to the other end of the field. They only have, they can get a first down on the 3-yard line, Will.
2nd and 3 from the 5. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. They run it, and they're going to be short. So the clock has expired, and Folsom will open the second quarter of action at the goal line. As you see, Chris Richardson feeling a wee bit better, though he's still down 7. And we're going to hold it here so we can catch up with our buddy, Rick Stewart. And he's going to catch up with someone you know quite well, both of you having El Camino High School ties. That would be Folsom High School principal Howard Catonhead. Rick?
I'm here with Howard Catonhead, principal here at Folsom. Great night, great crowd on both sides, the excitement. Hey, you're down 7-0 in the first quarter. What's going on there?
Physical game. I think they're controlling us up front a little bit, and we've made mistakes. That's a good football team over there.
It is. Great night. You know, nice weather, great support.
Yeah, it is. Our kids showed up, their kids showed up. Love to see it. Everybody's positive. We've looked forward to this all week.
This is what you want on your campus.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is good stuff.
All right, thanks, Howard. Thanks for being with me. We'll send it back up to you guys.
Well, thank you, Mr. Stewart. Thank you, Howard. Nice to see you again after last seeing you in the green and white with the El Camino Eagles. So we're going to look at a second quarter that's going to open virtually on the Jesuit goal line. Well, we want to take this time to declare a very special thanks to Casa Ramos, their restaurant in Folsom. And what a spectacular crew meal they provided. The mini burritos, the taquitos, and the quesadillas, just luscious and succulent. Our crew couldn't have been more delighted with that wonderful crew meal, and we want to especially thank Casa Ramos Restaurant, and let me say the taquitos were my favorite. Second quarter ready to unfold here. Prairie City Stadium in Folsom. Bulldogs right at the goal line, trying to get even. Right side running and dance it in. Untouched. Let's go ahead and credit hard-working Davin Simmons with a 1-yard run. (7-6) now. The deficit's been trimmed to 1. And we'll see what Folsom wants to do here. Troy Calderara is their reliable placement kicker. He wears number 13, and he'll work out of the hold of number 3, Jack Say. Austin Alvarez will do the snapping. Snapped, spotted, booted, got field goal distance, and it's a bullseye. So at 11:59 of the second, 1 second, 1 play, 1 touchdown, 1 point. We're square at 7. And as we go to break, there you see the Simmons 1-yard run. We'll be right back.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Welcome back to the fray with Jim Domino and Rick Stewart. I'm Will James. We're here at Prairie City Stadium in Folsom for the number 2 Bulldogs matchup with 10th ranked Jesuit, and we've got a doozy going here as we open the second quarter. Moments ago, a tying touchdown run by Davin Simmons. We're square at 7-all. The scoring drive, 5 plays, 25 yards. It took 1:38, and it was set up on the 4th down gamble that failed, that the Marauders took.
Very, very early in this football game, that people will second guess that one. Fair catch call, Will.
Vassar makes the grab at the 25, and that's where the Marauders will open shop. on the pooch that was not returned. So just nearly a full quarter in front of us, 11:57, just a couple of ticks into the quarter. We're tied at 7. I think both clubs right now realize they've made some serious mistakes.
Oh, yeah, very definitely. And quite frankly, that had to be one of the longest quarters that I experienced in a long time.
I think that set a new world record.
Yeah.
I think that was a 45-minute quarter. However, we love football, and that's where we're at right now. This is Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week. The Marauders now on the attack, having been tied at 7. Brownholtz to throw. Pump, pull it back down, and get sacked. Heavy pressure issued. Cruz Lara with the sack.
Well, right now there's pressure on Brownholtz and his decision making, and he's got to get the ball out. Okay, you can't just hold on to the football. He's got to get it out. And quite frankly, he's a senior now, and we saw a lot of poise in him last week versus Granite Bay and early in this game. And let's see if he can get back in rhythm.
Well, I believe Folsom's changed their defense. Boy, that got stacked and dropped right at the 25-yard line. 2 plays for a loss and not much else to go with it. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Well, that Folsom front is doing a great job for them. Zagata Vera, Lara, and Micah Iverson is a real stud inside. I'll tell you, he's a specimen, and he is tough to handle, and they're going to have to do something about him. Either trap him, and he's shedding that O-line.
Clock rolling at the 10:40 mark, early second. Brownholtz with a 3rd and 11. Nearly picked, incomplete. That was well covered by 2 different players, particularly number 10, Devin Szerzinski. And it's going to bring up a 4th and 11. This Folsom defense has taken on an entirely new persona in terms of intensity.
Without a question. And quite frankly, I don't know why, but it appears like now that Jesuit has shown some early fatigue in this first half.
So punt formation, and it's going to be Blake Matthew to do the booting, apparently. And not Brownholtz. High, but medium short. And it's going to bounce out of bounds just into Folsom territory, but great field position for the Bulldogs here early in the second quarter. The football is downed another 20 yards down the field when it looked like Folsom thought it was out of bounds up here by the 45. So let's see where they spot that.
Wow, they're marking it out of bounds up here around the 50-yard line.
31-yard punt. And after that last pass by Brownholtz, following the short pass and long run for the 89-yard score, he's had 8 straight incompletions, 1 for 9 for 89.
Well, there's a couple of bad decisions there where he forced the ball. He gave up a pick on top of it. There was 2. He gave up an interception, and then then they tried a 4th down. So 2 things happened against Jesuit there that bounced in their face.
1st and 10 from the Folsom 43. Curry rolls and throws on the run. Jack Say with the grab, turns it up, and gets gang tackled and shoved out after about a 4-yard gain on the play. Camus Carter in on the stop with 2 other Marauders. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
You see Curry rolling out and completing.
Double reverse and a pass from Davis. Wide open on the dead run, and this one is going to go the distance. Brandon Rupchuk from Eric Davis. A beautiful double reverse pass. Wow.
That's a great call. Rupchuk on the receiving end.
That's one for the highlight reel. It's very seldom I see a smoothly run double reverse. 53 yards on the play as the throw was from deep
Right to Rupchak, total of 53 yards.
On for the PAT, Calderara, spotted, clean, booted, strong, got it. At 9:40 of the second, 2 quick TDs by the Bulldogs. Here we go, there's the throw. Boy, oh boy, chasing in vain. The secondary. We'll take a break and come right back.
So
Bulldogs by 7.
I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
There you see the graphic. After trailing for nearly a full quarter, Folsom has rallied for a couple of touchdowns in rapid succession to forge a 14-7 lead and definitely claim momentum and control right now despite just a 7-point lead. 2 plays, 57 yards in just 45 seconds to take the lead. A spirited run back that's going to get stopped at the 30 or so, and gang tackling demonstrated by a fired up Bulldog special team.
Well, Folsom defense has come alive. It's forcing quarterback Brownholtz into some indecisions and holding the ball too long, putting a lot of pressure on him.
Breeden Anderson, nice work on special teams with a couple other Bulldogs, but Brian Jacobs may have something for us here.
After the play, I have a dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that is not the type of a mistake you expect from a championship team, but I can understand the fervor of having to come from behind at home like this, and certainly not excusable, but certainly a mistake. From the 40. Turn and give. Brownholtz faked the give to Burks and kept it himself and runs for nearly 10. And a flag comes out over there.
The way the Jesuit player is walking off, it could be against Jesuit. He's just walking to the bench.
This game is getting intense, no doubt. It was intense before the teams arrived here today. Okay, Brian.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Back-to-back personal fouls on consecutive plays by the Folsom Bulldogs, and they have just given Jesuit, what, 30 yards in field position?
Well, yeah, and you know, it's time for Brownholtz to get into rhythm, quite frankly, because the Jesuit Folsom is leading the way up front.
That didn't work. He may have gotten part of a yard out of that. They did not go for the pitch fake on first down from the 36.
Well, right now, the Folsom defense is winning the war up front, and it's quite obvious.
So they call it no gain, make it 2nd and 10, still at the 36-yard line. 9 minutes and clock rolling here early in the second. In case you've just joined us, this game started with a bang. Folsom a deep throw, covering more than 60 yards, got to inside the 5, then fumbled, and Jesuit came right back with an 89-yard score. But since then, it's been Bulldogs. A pair of TDs, they lead it by 7. Straight drop back, a wind up and a fire to the corner. Dropped. Amati turned nicely and unable to catch the strike.
Wow, he had him beat in the corner, and the ball was there. It was catchable. We could have had a tie ball game on our hands.
he adjusted very nicely. It was obvious the throw was behind him.
Let's look at that.
He did a half turn and adjusted beautifully.
Well, I can understand why Brownholtz put the ball away from the defender. And yes, Amati had to reach back. But you know, if you don't put it in front,
Burks unable to get away from 3 Bulldogs. Tucker Dunbar, 72, leading that charge.
Well, there you see control that once again. Watch Iverson. He's there all the time. Iverson's all over that play.
Burks used sparingly, 3 carries for 17 yards thus far. 4th and 10 from the 36. Brownholtz deep left side. Overthrown. That was a peculiar play. Evan Panson, the intended receiver.
Well, I don't know if the replay showed, but there was definitely holding on the 20-yard line.
Brownholtz not real happy about the way that play turned out.
I know.
Having a word with Panson after returning to the sideline. So with 7:44, midway second, the Bulldogs offense back onto the field. Chris Richardson working with his ball club out from under a 7-point deficit to lead it by 7. And their defense has been tough the last 3 times Jesuits had the pill.
Well, they've controlled the line of scrimmage, no question about it. Actually, most of the second quarter on.
From the 36, shotgun, turn and give. Nice spin. You know, that was neatly done by Davin Simmons. He's across the 40. Got himself 6 or 7 on the play as the clock rolls with 7.5 to go here in the second. 2nd and 5 after a gain of 5.
And we look at this again. There's a handoff to Simmons inside, breaks to the outside. 1 missed tackle and then a nice solo in there. It looked like our nose guard.
Right side running, big time room. Here he is again, chased by 2 Marauders, and Simmons is banged down near the 20. Wow. I guess it could be said that the defense was out of position on that play.
Without a doubt. They weren't ready, and it's seemingly out of position. If we see the replay, there's a snap back, a give inside, and they collapse down. They sealed down about 2 or 3 Jesuit Marauder defenders, got really caught in the bubble.
38 yards on the carry, and Simmons now has 10 carries for 77 for an excellent 1.5-quarter run game. Timeout taken by the Marauders here with 7:02 to go. We'll step back ourselves. Don't wander off. This one's warming up.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home Walk Restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Folsom set up nicely, 1st and 10 from the Jesuit 21, 7:02 to go in the second. Bulldogs trying to increase on their 14-7 lead. A little slip screen right side, wiggling off the hook. Sweet moves. What a play. Brandon Rupchuk.
Well, once again, Arceo, number 57, saved the day. There were about 3 or 4 missed tackles, Will, and then Arceo saved it from a touchdown. I said before, why not run more bubbles? They're there.
From the 13, a 2nd and 2 after that excellent play. Curry hands off, the fake works to perfection, and Rupchuk dances in virtually untouched. Wow! Oh, I got to see a replay on that one. At 6:24, midway second, Rupchuk scores from 13 yards out, and it's 3 unanswered TDs by the Folsom Bulldogs. On for the PAT, Calderara. Boy, he's dynamite from there. 3 for 3 at 6:24 of the second. Here's a replay. What an inside-out move on that. We'll be right back. Bulldogs barking hard.
I'm 1 on Lucky Guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times.
Bulldogs set to kick off after 3 consecutive touchdowns to open the second quarter, leading it now 21-7. 4 plays, 64 yards in a minute 20 on the last score. Kickoff bobbled outside the 5. Rutherford runs into a tackler crossing the 20, and that's where the Marauders will open shop with average field position. Boy, oh boy, that's been 3 impressive drives, and Coach Richardson certainly feeling better about things right now. His team has definitely settled down and playing Folsom type football.
Very definitely. Yep, they look like their old self.
We'll be speaking with Chris Richardson at the half, courtesy of Rick Stewart. But now with 6:17 to go in the quarter, Jesuit trying to get up off the deck after taking 3 on the button. So the up the middle run by Brownholtz nets 4 yards, make it 2nd and 6 from the 25. Slow in the huddle, clock rolling, 5:50 to go in the second. 3 subs in, 2 subs out, unless I missed something. Under center with backs split behind him, Brownholtz trying to get back in a groove. And they're too late to snap, and I would believe delay of game.
Delay a game on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
2nd and 11 now from the 20. And your observation earlier is starting to look clear as far as maybe some second quarter fatigue here the Marauders are trying to fight off. Conditioning. It's a beautiful night here in Folsom though. Brownholtz a bullet to the right side, and he's got a short hook up with the grab. Number 10 with the good hands, Josh Farr, short gain. They spot the football at the 21, gain of 1. Back to 3rd and 10. So the Marauders up to the line trying to salvage here and avoid punting from deep in their territory. They need 10 or more. Back to throw, Brownholtz deep. He's got coverage, incomplete. And a flag is going to come out. I'm not sure the ball was catchable. Defending on the play, Sean Johnson, 26. And Brian Jacobs will give us the call. .444 left with the stoppage here and clarification. They're coming back to the line of scrimmage, it looks like. What do you see, Coach?
Pass interference on the defense, 15-yard penalty. That results in a first down.
So they parked the football at the 36. It's essentially a 15-yard gain, 1st and 10. Under center, back split. Brownholtz turns and gives. The big back Burks around the corner. Sideline speed. Nice pursuit from behind to make the tackle there. In fact, that was more than nice. That was excellent. Keone Zagatavera trailing the play. First down, Marauders. As the clock stops to move the chains with 4.5 to go. It's at the Folsom 30.
Nice crossing action, cross-buck trap with Burks carrying the ball.
34 yards on the play. Second longest play of the night. Rutherford, another carry as the clock rolls at the 4:05. Short yardage, 2nd and 9. Well, we'll see what they have up their sleeve. Jesuit desperately trying to get another score to tighten things up before the intermission. They turn and give. The play is strung out going wide right. Burks with another carry.
Well, that play, when it started out, they ran that trap, and to me, it looked like it had a lot more yards in it, but he got tripped up in there, and it was a big 3rd down. Looks like 3rd and about a long 5.
He picks up 4 on the play, so the clock rolls here at the 3:15 mark. 5 carries for 55 yards now for Burks. Not this time. Burks gang tackled. 3 Bulldogs were there, 4 Bulldogs were there.
Well, he runs a boot fake off that cross-buck trap, and no one followed Brownholtz. He could run that bootleg pass off the cross-buck, and I guarantee you it'd be big yards passing or throwing. It's there.
Recognition. 3:04 to go, late second as we near the intermission. This has been kind of a wild one after Jesuit came out thundering on their first possession a week after stopping Granite Bay and taking a 7-0 lead over Chris Richardson and the Bulldogs. But things changed dramatically. 3 consecutive Folsom touchdowns in the second quarter. That's where we are now, 21-7.
It's been all Folsom since the start of the second quarter. Will.
Scoreboard shows 3rd and 5. And I thought it was 4th and 5. Okay, they're going for it, 4th and 5. The big play right now will have major bearing on the first half play. Short drop, fire right, hook up and a first down. Thomas with the grab, and he spins forward for a few more.
I like the call. He runs that 8-yard hitch, and he's got to get it out from under in 2 seconds. Well, that's the kind of rhythm he's got to get into.
Last week, Thomas had 4 catches for 68 yards and a TD in the win over Granite Bay.
Well, he's got the receivers there, and if he runs that 3-step drop, he can run those short routes.
1st and 10 from the Bulldogs 16, 2:45 to go in the half. Brown Holtz keeps it and wiggles inside the 15.
He picked up a couple, Will, but the pitch was also open. He looked at the pitch, and he could have pitched the ball as well, but he did pick up about 3.5 on that. Key series for Jesuit to stay in this football game, Will.
Actually, they give him 5, bringing up 2nd and 5 from the 11, and you're right about that, Coach. The pass interference call setting up this opportunity. Deep lob, left corner. Caught! Touchdown, Marauders. That was a heck of a grab right there. Evan Panson with close coverage. An 11-yard TD reception and a beautiful lob thrown by Brown Holtz.
Well, that was a key series for Jesuit. Quite frankly, an understatement, because having given up 3 straight touchdowns in a short period of time, pretty much put them out of the game. So now coming to within 7 prior to the half should give them a little mental boost.
So Brown Holtz on for the PAT. Spotted, booted on the way, and got it. At 2:02, late second, the Marauders respond. Now trailing just 21-14, and there's a look at the grab.
Nice grab.
Tight coverage out there in the secondary by Gaines, but a heck of a catch. We'll be right back.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed our world.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
The Marauders lining up to kick off after going 79 yards in 10 plays, covering 4 minutes, 22 seconds to get their second touchdown. The big play was the pass interference of about 50 yards that was turned into a major penalty and a first down. From the 2-yard line, Eric Davis, right up the middle, and he's dropped outside the 20.
Well, Folsom in the past would not sit on the ball. That's not the philosophy of the Folsom coaches. And with 2 minutes on the clock, Will, I would not be surprised for them not just to run the clock out for the half. Knowing Folsom, they may just try to get down to the field, use their timeouts, and score again.
I'm inclined to all the way agree with that. It has not been their MO to ever back off. And having given up that TD, I'm sure that's on their minds right now. Minute 54 to go in the half. Want to remind you, Rick Stewart will be chatting with head coach Chris Richardson at the intermission. Right side sweep and a hurdle. Wow, stays on his feet and outside the 30, nearly to the 35, and a penalty marker thrown into the pile.
I think they're going to call hurdling.
Gutsy run, but an infraction. Let's see if Brian Jacobs has the call here.
Unless they drop the flag and say no call.
You can see the discussion criteria. They pick up the flag, no penalty. As you said. So no penalty. 1:47 left here in the second. 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 34. Curry with plenty of time. Throws a lob over the middle. He got a man wide open. Caught in traffic nearly to the 30-yard line. Wow, Brad Jenner with the good hands, and Curry spotted him late and threw a strike.
Big play.
Brad Jenner, two-way standout. Here's another look. Curry looks to two
all
different
day
directions.
to throw. Wide open. Beats the safeties.
So they spotted at the 32-yard line. Right side running, big time room. Rupchuk, zigzag, stop and go to the goal line. Touchdown Bulldogs from 32 yards out. Wow. I don't know who called that play from upstairs, but Brandon Rupchuk turned it out. At 1:18, just 2 plays to get back on the board for the Bulldogs. Well, I would say that was a rapid response to that Jesuit TD. Calderara on for the PAT. Jack Say to do the hold. Booted. Got it. Let's take a look at the TD before we break away with 1:18 left. Sensational. Boy, he froze a couple defenders there, grabbing air. We'll be right back to Prairie City Stadium in Folsom. More of the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Well, this Folsom crowd is feeling a lot better about things. 4 Bulldog touchdowns in the second quarter after being blanked on a very rare occasion in the first quarter.
Well, they also have found 2 outstanding running backs in Simmons and Rupchuk. You know, we talked about last year's loss of Neal and Green, and these 2 kids are coming into their own tonight, Will.
And you're seeing it right here on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. A high pooch kick taken at the 25-yard line and moving ahead to the 40 for a 15-yard gain. Nice run back, Joe Vassar.
That drive took all of 44 seconds, by the way. They got in 44 seconds from 2:02.
Jake Vassar's impressed me with limited sparing time. He's sharing playing time, but he's made some nice plays for the Marauders tonight. From the Jesuit 40, 1st and 10, 1:12 to go. We'll see what Brown, Holtz, and company have in mind in the final minute here. Deep drop, plenty of time. Guns it over the middle, incomplete, and another penalty marker comes out on the collision in the secondary.
There was no need for that after the whistle. There wasn't.
Uncatchable for sure.
Yeah, but
it didn't
they
look like a
just
personal.
kept hands off, yeah.
That's
had nothing to do with the play. The play's over.
That was at least, here we go from Brian, at least 5 major penalties against Folsom.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, on the defense, 15-yard penalty. That results in a first down.
All right, it's after the whistle, and we'll see the replay down the field, but a kid get safety drilled a man after the play was over.
Amani was the one that took the hit, and I don't believe he's had a catch since that first play of that scoring play for 89 yards. So it sets up the Marauders beautifully at the Bulldog 45. Right side running Burks. Zigzag. Jenner helps spin him out of bounds along with Sean Johnson.
Well, Burks wisely, I know he likes to run over people, Will, but he wisely got out of bounds to stop the clock. That was a good play on his part.
Less than a minute remaining here in the first half. 59 seconds to be precise. They park the football at the Folsom 39. Gain of 6 by Big Burks. Jesuit trying to respond. Brownholtz flushed, sets up, guns it, incomplete. 3 receivers in that general area.
Well, yeah, he had nothing on the other side, and as we see here, he had to flush the pocket. There was a lot of pressure by that Folsom D.
3rd and 4 now from the 39, still 52 seconds. Enough time the way they've been biting off chunks tonight.
Well, right now, Folsom has gone to a 4-man rush and they're dropping 7. And it would be wise for them, despite the fact there's 52 seconds left, to possibly run a draw here. They're running 4-man rush, dropping 7.
Brownholtz now 4 of 15 with an interception and a touchdown. Looks left, throws right, overthrown, nearly picked. That'll bring up 4th and 4. Sean Johnson with the coverage.
Well, they're covering, first of all, the secondary is playing deep as can be, and even with that kind of clock time, you've got to still throw underneath. You can't force it deep when they're backing off 7 people.
There it is. Words of wisdom from the imperator of analysis.
Well, let's see what he got here. We got a 4th and 4.
4th and 4 from the 39.
Get something that'll move the chains. You don't have to get in the end zone.
Double wide to the near side. Back split behind Brownholtz. Long count, and I don't think he got it off. He's already had 1 delay of game. Let's see, timeout. It comes with 45 seconds left in the first. Something wasn't right there. It looked like Brownholtz wanted to change the play or question the play, so they took the timeout. And it comes at the 45-second mark, and there you see the Jesuit staff regrouping here with
well,
the
if
Marauder
it's a
offense.
good timeout, Will, you know it's not cumulative. You lose them all at halftime. If there's some doubt, call them. Call the timeout.
We've had some fireworks tonight. The 2 Jesuit touchdowns covered 89 yards and 11 yards respectively, both on passes from Brownholtz. I think I shortchanged him a while ago. He's had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And fireworks for the Bulldogs. Besides the 1-yard Simmons run, 53 yards on the Davis to Rupchuk double reverse pass play. Rupchuk a 13 run and a 32-yard run.
I'm very impressed with him and his moves. He can, he's got a multitude of moves, and he's not easy to take down in the open field. He can shake and bake out there and use a lot of moves.
A vital 4th and 4. Right sideline. He's got a man and a catch and a Jesuit first down and a stop the clock. Rutherford, nicely run route.
Well, I like the play, and I like Brownholtz's touch in that side. He used the sideline to his advantage, and that was a great catch by Rutherford.
Here's another look at it.
Let's look down in the corner, and there you see Rutherford running out of bounds, stopping the clock.
23 yards on the play to the 16-yard line.
Plenty of time on the clock, 38 seconds.
Turn and give. Burks through the middle.
Oh, maybe 4 or 5.
Clock rolling with 28 seconds to go. That was a very nice play drawn up on the timeout to pick up the first down. They're going to have to hustle now. 20 seconds to go. There you see the split backs. And whistles are going to stop play here.
Folsom's got too many people on the field.
There's 2 of them that tried to get off the field on a late substitution.
And that's why Richardson alertly called timeout. It was a good timeout.
So they freeze the clock with 18 seconds to go. A 2nd and 6 upcoming for Jesuit from the Bulldog 12. We'll keep it right here. With just 18 seconds, apparently time for a couple plays from that distance, the 12. What do you see, Coach?
Well, right now they can't go to the half without putting at least 3 on, and he's got try to go to the end zone. He can get a first down on the 7, okay? And the question is, does he have another timeout left? Appears that he does, and he's got to use this wisely. If he moves the chains, he doesn't need a timeout, or he gets an out-of-bounds pass completion. But if he doesn't, he's got to quickly get a timeout.
Well, Jesuit has been making statements since this early season has begun, and here's a point in time where they need to make another. Brown Holtz quickly back, keeps it, runs it, and drilled near the 5.
Well,
and the penalty marker flies.
Woo!
A shot.
He's going to get half the distance to the goal line. He's going to be down on about the, he's going to be around the 1.5 yard, 2-yard line.
10 seconds showing. I think that's like 6 personal fouls now on Folsom tonight. And Brian Jacobs will let us know.
Contact on the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Okay, let's take another look.
Here, watch Brown Holtz go up the middle, and right there, bam, the second one wasn't really necessary because he was already on his way down.
So they place it. Well, Jesuit calls another time. They know how important this opportunity is. And I'll tell you, the way this game has flip-flopped has kept both sides uneasy tonight.
Well, what it does, it's both quarterbacks, when they're in rhythm, they're very, very tough. They've got outstanding receivers, etc. And there for a while, you know, Brown Holtz was out of rhythm in the second quarter and really showed it. And then I have to give him credit. The last 5-6 minutes of this quarter, he's come back.
What has impressed me about his mechanics is how quickly he gets to the drop. When he comes out from the center, he gets back so fast. I just think that allows him a greater opportunity to see the field.
Well, as we stated earlier, much more mature and better than last year by far.
Okay, 1st and goal from the 2. There you see the split backs. Burks powers up, touchdown Marauders. And they did take the opportunity to make a statement. The word around was that this was a vastly improved Jesuit ball club, and they're showing so tonight.
Very definitely. Very definitely. They show you some resilience here, being behind by 2 touchdowns, and certainly did not put their head in the ground and come back strong.
On the money for the PAT. Andrew Tilton with the kick, and there you see Burks plowing in. 6 seconds left. We're going to be right back to conclude the half.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Well, in case you've just stopped in and dialed up Hometown Sports Game of the Week here on Access Sacramento, you've missed a lot, but I guarantee you there's a lot more to come. Right now, in a roller coaster game, here all in the first half, a 28-21 lead. The Bulldogs of Folsom having quite a time with visiting Jesuit. Number 2 versus number 10. A bounding kickoff, bobbled away. And it's a fumble recovery, I believe, by the Marauders. I mean, yeah, I believe so. So time for one play. 3 seconds left. Four turnovers here in the first half, and the Marauders can go for the end zone. The football at the 34-yard line. Brownholtz has time, throws deep for the end zone. A man out there, broken up on an exciting final play of the first half, intended for Amani. 3 players near him. And this has been a spirited, intense first half, and I do not believe that'll change in the second. We're going to keep it right here and await Rick Stewart's interview with Folsom head coach Chris Richardson, and I would be interested to hear that one. 28-21, and the fans have already gotten more than their money's worth in this opening half. Rick Stewart, what you got, buddy?
Coach, first half, early trench battle. They seemed to win it. You guys came back the last couple of minutes.
I wouldn't say they were winning the trench battle. I think we were running the ball very effectively. I think there's some, some issues where they're holding our receivers and getting away with it, and we'll adjust. I mean, that's part of the game. I mean, we're not going to cry for every call. We took over there in the second quarter, and then, we gave up two cheap touchdowns, that we need to fix. So we need to execute on O, and we'll play better on D on the second half. We'll be okay.
You ran the ball better than I thought you might based on what we had heard, but not for you?
No, I knew we could run the ball. Again, they're doing a good job of they're pressing our guys and playing safeties over the top, and they're going to challenge us to run the ball, which we've done. We just need to execute in the red zone. We've had 1 turnover with the interception in the end zone. And, just keep doing what we're doing. Our tempo is going to take over the second half. We'll be okay.
All right, cool. Good luck in the second half, Coach. Thanks. All right, guys, we'll send it right back up to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Stewart. Chris Richardson, perhaps disappointed in some of his team's play, but a very cool, calm, composed, poised head coach. He's not worried.
He is. Been there many times before, Will.
Glad you're with us here for Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. We shall return. Stay with us.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
There's the score, 28-21 in favor of Folsom High. We've got the athletic director here, Lisa Finley. Lisa, you did something different today for the game.
Yes, we added online ticket sales to try to help out our fans, just make it easier so they wouldn't have to spend a lot of time standing in lines.
Have you been able to get any results back, how much it helped?
Yes, it was tremendous. Even we allowed it so that Jesuit could do it, the opponents could do it too, and we had over 300 people buying tickets online the very first night, for first game. So it was fantastic. So planning on continuing that.
Well, yeah, I mean I mean everybody's online this day and age.
Right, yeah. But it is amazing because they could print out their ticket, they could show us on a phone, you know, so it's really adaptable and makes it really easy for them. And it like I said, it makes it easier for us too, so our lines aren't so long.
Tell me about other sports.
Oh gosh, we have our big thing is soccer's moving to the winter now. So boys and girls soccer both. So it's gonna be fun to see that in the winter how that goes. And then our basketball teams are doing fantastic. You know, they'll be going again in the winter. Baseball's been doing better every year, and our swim team's been coming along. So really good. Really happy about how everyone's progressing. Cross country, track. You know, we're up to like 85 people on the team. Things like that, so it's great.
Well, it's a nice facility for track too.
Yes.
Now, for the future, we're going to be here later in the season.
Right.
But what I want to try and do is we've got some video that we would like to show that game about the school itself.
Right.
You have a program, a video program. Tell me a little bit about it quickly.
Yes. Well, it's Scott Southard is our teacher, and he does a lot of things. Like there's also on YouTube, there's an overview of our school that his class has done, and then also where it's, you know, you can go online and just look that way also. And he has a great program. He does the bulletin every day. The kids get on the 2 PRCs, and the kids really enjoy listening to him because it's fun having their peers tell them about what's going on.
The kids,
yes.
You got a great reaction today with the crowd here.
A huge crowd. They're cheering. They're singing songs. They're doing great. It's a lot of fun, and they're all in their black and cameo, which is our theme, jungle theme for today. So it's fun to see.
Well, I'm not going to keep you because I know you got a little bit of a knee problem here, but we're going to let you go. But thanks for being with us, Lisa.
You're welcome, and thanks for coming. It's going to be a great rest of the night.
Take a tour of the truck when you leave.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
All right, Lisa. All right, there we go. 28-21, the score. Folsom in the lead at halftime. We'll be right back.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Welcome back to halftime. It's 28-21. Folsom in the lead over Jesuit. Good game tonight. What a start for Access and FHS tonight. We've got our executive director, Gary Martin, here tonight. Gary, there's new stuff going on.
Yes, it's an amazing set of firsts for us tonight, including the fact that this game of the week, which starts our 19th season, is being done in high definition. And there is a brand new high definition truck with 5 cameras capable, which are being used for this broadcast tonight. It is a first for us because public access in general needs to operate in standard definition. But it's high definition for us in terms of this broadcast tonight, so it's a first.
Well, in terms of that, I mean, that puts us in a whole different light here from what we can do with just basic sports, but also everything else we do.
Exactly right, because in addition to about 25 different sports events, which include basketball and volleyball and football, of course, we also do a variety of hometown TV events as well. So we have coming up the Cruise Fest out of Carmichael just in another weekend. We have APAPA's election forum coming up in October that leads into election coverage. So a variety of things that are constantly in use for this truck, and it's going to be a truly spectacular opportunity for Access Sacramento to shine with community broadcasting.
I've heard some rumors you're going to have your 32 Ford out there with a blown Hemi.
No, but maybe my old 2001 Grand Am. No, but yes, the Cruise Fest is going to be a lot of fun, and working with the Carmichael Historical Auto Museum in putting on this event and showcasing a variety of the community cars and the people who are invested in that type of technology, it's going to be fun.
Well, I've always been a car freak, so that'll be good. Now, as far as what we can do here with the new truck, not only sports and hometown events, but how does this step forward as a community channel?
Well, it's really thanks to the Sacramento community, the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission, that we're broadcasting in high definition with this particular truck. We started 2 years ago kind of promoting the idea that we needed to step up to high definition. They heard that message 2 years ago, and ultimately they gave us the dollars to purchase this brand new high definition vehicle. And I'll tell you the price: $710,000 in television equipment, the brand new Azizu chassis, and the big railroad car box that sits on top of that chassis to bring the broadcast to the community. It's an amazing setup. 3 air conditioners to keep the equipment and the people cold. There's an audio booth there, a completely separate video booth with a instant replay device called NewTek's 3Play, which allows us to put 4 cameras in replay. It is truly a state-of-the-art facility that assists Access Sacramento in bringing the very best of the voices of Sacramento County onto television.
And it rivals anybody else in television.
Well, you know, there's not very many people that do broadcasting like we do. Even local television rarely does a full-fledged gavel-to-gavel coverage of an event. You know, they'll send a camera out and you'll get a news clip of, maybe a minute and a half, even in the long form, but we cover it gavel-to-gavel.
All righty, thank you very much for being with us tonight, Gary. We're going to send it back upstairs. 28-21 is the score. Jesuit trails Folsom High. We'll be right back.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
28-21, there's the score at halftime. Folsom ahead. Coach Blanton, first half like what you thought it would be?
Yeah, we played them tough. I thought our defense put it in a good position, and our offense just needs to do better. I think if we stay consistent, we have an opportunity.
A couple of penalties on both sides tonight. Is that expected?
In this type of game, anything can happen.
Little chippiness out there, too.
Absolutely. It's tough.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Appreciate the time. Thank you, Coach. All right, there we go, 28-21. Send her back upstairs to you guys.
Thank you very much, Rick Stewart. Observing the rest of the stadium area during the intermission, a sea of humanity, if we can extract one from the cliche file. This is a wild one here. A Friday night leading into a Labor Day holiday weekend. Number 2 versus number 10. What a show, Coach.
Oh, it is. Quite frankly, I expected a lot of scoring, but maybe not this heavy. And the momentum keeps shifting back and forth. Both teams show great ability to put the ball in the end zone. And now surfacing the run game of Folsom also looks good with Rupchak, of course, and Simmons, and particularly Rupchak with great moves.
Well, let's take a look at the first half stats in about a minute or so, because there are going to be some revealing factors that certainly had major bearing several times during the course of the first half of action. Both clubs back out on the field, and they've installed another 2 or 3 minutes on the clock with extended commentary by the coaches in the clubhouse.
Well, I think that's a good thing because we got an overflow crowd here tonight, and quite frankly, you have to run the figure 8 course in order to reach anywhere with the crowd stopping.
It was a veritable gauntlet, Coach.
Yeah, the gauntlet. You certainly can. But this, I think we've got plenty of scoring. The people are getting their money's worth, really. And very impressive. Jesuit did not quit. You know, were down 2 touchdowns, and they came roaring back. They're certainly in this game. And we'll see who wants it more here in the second half.
Oh, we certainly will. What Coach Blanton said holds a lot of credence about them playing well enough to be at this point in the game having a chance. They're on the road, tough place to play, overbearing crowd here on a holiday weekend against a team with a 50-game winning streak against section competition.
Without a doubt. And even though it's a non-league game, these two are heated rivalries. They both play tough non-league schedules prior to get ready for league. And there you see Coach Richardson has been there many, many times before. Very confident in his halftime talk and very experienced, having been there, been to state championships, regional finals, etc.
And you know perhaps better than any of us in the entire stadium what kind of a positive effect his calm has on them. Let's take a look at those first half numbers, Coach.
Okay, look at these stats here. Rushing yards, 147, of course, to 86 in favor of Folsom, making some long runs. Passing yards, very close. Brownholtz came back there at the end of the quarter. Total offense, 289, 220. Certainly plenty of fireworks. Penalties are big and particularly hurting Folsom with 96 yards of penalties. Folsom with 4 turnovers, totally unlike themselves. Jesuit with 1. Time of possession, Jesuit having the ball longer, but Folsom strikes really quick.
Really quick. How about a scoring drive of 44 seconds, a scoring drive of 45, and a scoring drive of 1:20?
Well, yeah, that is quick.
And I can add to that first down graphic there. Jesuit with 9 first downs, 4 of them by way of penalties, while Folsom totaled 11 first downs in the half. So lots of evenness among the numbers, but it's clear which team hurt itself the most with penalties and mistakes. What you got?
Coach Richardson is talking. They're ready for kickoff. He's still talking to the head referee at midfield.
Well, I can only guess and speculate, but I would have to think that it's in regard to questions in his mind about some of the penalty calls. There you see.
Brian Jacobs, our referee.
In my opinion, there's an overemphasis to start the year with all these calls, thinking they're going to save the injuries. Okay, to me, it's an override. Call the game, and if the penalties are there, fine. But again, we've got to let them play a little bit too.
Okay, the Bulldogs ready to kick off. Jesuit will have first opportunity to get on the board and perhaps even the score. They're down 7 here at 28-21. And as Jim stated, a mob here tonight at Prairie City Stadium. What could be considered classic high school football atmosphere.
Oh, you couldn't ask for a better atmosphere than this is what it's all about. What a weekend.
Troy Calderara, the kickoff deep into the end zone and out of the backside of the end zone. Touchback, 1st and 10 from the Marauder 20, and that's how we'll start third quarter action.
Well, it's certainly impressive when you can kick the ball consistently in that end zone, and certainly they're very capable of doing that.
So a Marauder offense that in the first half generated 220 yards of O. Back out there with first shot to add to that total. Here you see Coach Richardson pacing that Bulldog sideline. Turn and give, nothing doing. Excellent lateral containment, and Burks contained impressively. They spot the football at the 18, loss of 2, make it 2nd and 12. So the Marauders substitute, 1 in, 1 out, double wide receivers dispatched to the left. Brownholtz now steps up under center with back split behind him. We're just underway here in the third. Nice to have you with us. He's flushed and sacked inside the 10. Wow, what a pass rush. And another penalty marker flies out late. Well, referee Brian Jacobs, I won't even speculate. We'll wait for the call. The marker flies out here at the 11:06 in the first minute of the third quarter. To say this game has been intense and spirited is an understatement.
Without a doubt, Will. They're going at it.
Foul on the defense.
Another personal foul against Folsom. Their defense has been slapped with, I think, 6 of those, maybe more.
Personal foul on the defense, helmet contact, 15-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Okay, no comment. 2nd and 4 from the 26. Turn, give, left side running, crosses the 30.
Well, he's not enough to move the chains. 34, a young sophomore, Rutherford, bright future, and he's looked like he got the frame to put on a lot more weight, Will.
I would think so.
And certainly as a sophomore and Burks a junior, both those kids coming back next year and a full year ahead of them this year, and I think that's going to help Jesuit in their run game, no question.
So the personal foul gives Jesuit new life.
Boy,
up the gut, nice forced drive there.
That's the best I've seen the left side of Jesuit really get off the football.
Well, Burks carries to the 40 with power running and a good line push.
Well,
and this Folsom crowd really upset about the calls tonight.
Well, the Stipular and Bellinger on the left side really got off the football. That's the best line play I've seen them tonight.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1 from the Marauder 40. We've just opened play here in the third quarter with Jim Domino and Rick Stewart. I'm Will James. Welcome to the show. Turn and give as Brownholtz falls down on the handoff.
No, that was Farr in there.
It was number 10.
Number 10, Farr.
He's the backup QB. Burks with the pill, and they move the stakes with just enough to get the first down.
Now, I'm trying to find Brownholtz on that far sideline.
So far, still into the ball game, and I guess it would lead us to believe something is out of the ordinary with Calvin Brownholtz, who's gone the distance. And Farr runs the show and hands off to Burks, who falls forward and makes the 44, nearly the 45. We'll call it a gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the 45 as the clock rolls at the 8:55, early third. Burks now 11 carries for 70, upped his average to 6.4. After really being not used much in the first quarter, rarely used in the first. Most of this production's been in the second and here in the opening of the third. A marker flies in the backfield, defensive backfield. And it's going to be against Jesuit. So we're trying to get an update on Calvin Brownholtz. Apparently, along that Jesuit sideline, far into the ball game. He throws up the left sideline, and he's got a man, and a flag flies. Wow. And that's been a battle all night. Sean Johnson defending Jonathan Amati. An ankle injury, apparently the reason Brownholtz is on the sideline, and we'll get an update as rapidly as possible to clarify that.
Well, Farr threw a nice ball there, a little behind him, but.
Pass interference on the defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
That's 2 pass interference calls on Sean Johnson. Another look. Gee whiz. I don't know. 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 30. Rutherford stacked, drives forward, gets inside the 30 before he's shoved back. So the clock rolls here to the 8-minute mark. We're still early in the third, and continuing Folsom mistakes, penalties that is, have breathed new life into the Jesuit drive, as it has all night. 28-21 Bulldogs, but now facing a Jesuit drive that is motivated. Mistimed play, penalty thrown against the Marauders.
The whole right side was off early, no question about it.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
2nd and 14 now from the 34 as the Marauders are moved back by the penalty, and that rooting section coming alive across the way dressed in white, the galley crew.
Well, they got something to cheer about. This is a big drive for Jesuit. Opening series of the second half. Going to find out what the...
Another jump from the offensive line. Another penalty. I'm assuming it's against the Marauders.
Well, what's happening?
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
They've got to pay attention because Farr's count is different than Brownholtz. And they've got to pay attention to that. And if anything, look down at the ball.
I love the commentary, Coach. the Imperator. You get two different quarterbacks, two different cadences, and after this play, we're going to get an update from Rick Stewart, perhaps about the Brown-Holtz injury. Right now, the Marauder is up to the line, 2nd and 19 from the 39. Same formation, straight drop, roll, look, fake, and run. Farr strings it out and gets great mileage. Let's check in with Rick Stewart.
Well, we got the cameras may be able to pick up Cole Brown-Holtz on the other side, but he's got a sprained ankle. It's not serious. He told me he will be back, not tonight though. Sprained ankle, Brown-Holtz out for the night. Back to you.
Thank you, Rick. Tough break for Jesuit. However, it's given Farr an opportunity to show his wares, and on that last play, he certainly did. 3rd and 6 after a pickup of 13 yards on the play. Football at the Bulldog 26. Big play. Turn and give. Burks is stacked.
It is. I question that, even though it's Big Burks, because you only pick up 3 or 4 on that. It's still going to leave them a 4th down. There he is on the sideline with his ankle up.
Calvin Brown-Holtz will miss the remainder of this contest. Smart precautionary for the remainder of the season, because they've got something going this year, the Marauders do. 6.5 to go, clock rolling. Jesuit down 7, but now facing a key 4th and 3 from the 23 after that 3-yard run by Burks. Burks and Rutherford in the backfield. Farr throws for the corner. Incomplete, and no flag. 6:05 as the clock is stopped and the Jesuit drive fizzled. So the ball goes over. The latest update, there's Sean Johnson, who twice now has been called for pass interference on tough coverage. In the penalty department, Jesuit has been whacked 7 times for 45, but Folsom a colossal 9 for 111. The longest drive of the night for them, 5 minutes, 55 seconds, and it falls short. Thanks to Joe Davidson for an update, and here's an unlikely breakout run, but he's been doing it all night. It looked like that play was going to be stopped for short yardage, but I'll tell you, Simmons has really been impressive tonight.
Very, very impressive running game.
First and 10 from the 45. 22 on the pickup by Simmons, who's putting together an impressive performance and statistical game. Near side again, finds 2 holes, splits 3 defenders, and barrels inside the Jesuit 35. Wow, do it again. Simmons having quite a game here.
Very impressive, as I said before the half, the run game with Simmons and Rupchak. Right now, they don't have to worry about how many yards that Curry's going to get, because they can move the ball on the ground.
Here's a replay, nice cut there. Running right to the daylight in the seams. Runs of 22 and 12 back to back, and on first down here from the 33. Rupchuk has the carry, clock rolling. Now on the flip side of quarter number 3 with 5:10 to go.
From a slow-moving first half to a rapidly moving third quarter, Will, with this run attack on both teams.
Curry dances away from trouble, throws on the run. Got a man along the right sideline. Wow,
That's a
Jack
great
Say.
throw. That's a great play by Curry. Under heavy duress, people on his back, one grabbing his jersey, focusing down the field. Great play by Curry.
And I've got to give Jack Say super credit for his concentration on that grab. but a flag is down.
I think they're going to take the completion unless this penalty against Jesuits more.
Holding on the offense.
Well, another major penalty against the Folsom offense negates a real nice improv scramble. Curry to say.
I thought that was one of his best plays of the night, Will. Even though it was, enough to move the chains down the field.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
2nd and 20 now from the 23-yard line.
But Jesuit defense, the pressure is on them stopping the run. Folsom, seemingly here, they're averaging 15, 20 yards a pop with Simmons and Rupchak running the football. And their line is dominating up front.
Let's see. There you see Gallagher hunched up. Curry winds up and fires. Got a man slightly overthrown. Jack Say.
The middle of the field. They ran 4 vertical, what we call 4 vertical, Will. 4 deep. No one underneath. No one. 4 deep.
That was a line drive. That was not a high arcing lob.
4 vertical.
Clock stops with 4:36 left in the third. Still 28-21. Folsom by 7.
He can run that bubble or run his running back. Very impressive Folsom line blocking.
They go underneath.
Number 6 is Joey Nagata, who had a big week last week.
He was the intended receiver on the previous play. I misidentified that.
That's a big receiver there. Only a sophomore. What a target.
9 catches in that Coeur d'Alene game. So it's going to bring up a 4th and 18 after an 8-yard pickup from the 41. Curry throws into a crowd, incomplete.
He's throwing it. Triple coverage on that man. Wow.
And the ball goes over. The Marauder defense holds on downs. Rupchuk, as you see, they're walking back. He's played a whale of a game tonight.
Now, the penalty's got him in long distance, Will. But once again, off that previous series where they dominated the LOS, and Simmons and Rupchuk are getting big yards.
1st and 10. Marauders take over from their 41. Left side running. Nets about 3. And Burks hard working there for that yardage. They spot him at the 44. We'll give him 3 on the carry. 2nd and 7.
Now, let's see how far runs that bootleg set with a fake inside on that crossbuck series.
Burks now 13 carries for 76 yards. He's averaging 5.8, holding his own. Turn and give. Rutherford sneaks outside, shy of the first. He makes the 47 or 48. That'll bring up a 3rd down scenario for the Marauders at the 3-minute mark, late 3rd. Big play here, 3rd and 3, 2:40 to go, clock rolling, late 3rd. A stoppage, and the Jesuit offense is kind of wondering why. Brian Jacobs backs up and restarts. Up the gut for a key 1st down. That was impressive.
Again, just running that straight dive
Burks
over Estipular and Bellinger and Ford are getting off the football this quarter, Will. I don't know what was said to him at halftime, But I can tell you this, look at this get off up front. And a great drive, good body drive, good low presence, pad level down.
Good tackle by safety Tanner Ward to prevent further damage. First down, Marauders, 2:18 to go. Turn, look, and give to the big guy. Burks steps sideways and gets gang tackled and shoved back.
Well, nothing much there. Linebacker all over it. And Ezra Golwich at linebacker, number 31, has been in on a lot of tackles tonight. And I know that Jenner has gotten a lot of attention here early season, but I'll tell you, Golwich has had a pretty good first half. And
no gain, 2nd and 10. Roll right, look and throw. Incomplete.
Well, Farr took a hit there, and it looks to me like he could have picked up 5 with Rutherford out in the flat, and he's got to take what the D gives him. Good experience for this young junior, the future quarterback for Jesuit. Josh Farr getting a lot of playing time with Brownholtz sitting out with an ankle injury, and probably won't see him for the rest of the evening, Will.
Farr, since coming on, 0 for 2 in passing, but has done a creditable job engineering the offense. Short drop, look right all the way, and he overthrows his intended receiver there by quite a distance, going for Evan Panson, who had a touchdown catch earlier in the game.
Well, the defense is jumping on the intended receiver because Farr is looking right at him. He takes a snap and looks right at his intended receiver. And he's, again, this is good experience for him. 3rd down and long here, key down.
4th and 10. Marlon Blanton trying to utilize every opportunity in Folsom territory. Here's another. Short drop, look, sacked at the 45. Took too long.
Well, good job by Folsom. They bent a little bit on this drive, but when they had to make a key play, they did, Will. And once again, they have an opportunity as the clock coming to an end here. Watch this replay. Folsom holding on to the ball and then takes the sack.
Keone Zakata Farah with the sack.
Well, once again, the sack beats a pick.
A minute 24 left in the 3rd. Bulldog offense onto the field, nursing a 7-point lead at 28-21. Jesuit will not go away.
I wonder why the clock stopped, because this isn't pro ball with a sack.
Curry rolls and throws. Open receiver, breaks a tackle. Nice balance. Joe Ngata with the catch. Shy of a first, but a nice chunk of about 6 or 7. Spotted at the Jesuit 48. Bringing up a 2nd and 3 with the 7-yard pickup, left side run. First down and a little bit more. There's that power running game that they can rely on that you spoke of earlier. And again, Davin Simmons.
Well, with a touchdown lead, it's not that they have to play conservative, but I'm sure coach is wise enough to move the clock. And with these 2 running backs, he can manage that clock quite nicely.
Well, based on his halftime comments, head coach Chris Richardson was not overly unduly alarmed.
No.
And his team is in control right now. Simmons, 13 carries for 127. And 4 carries for first downs. Boy, that's an impressive game.
Well, yeah, they're getting good push up front with that front group of Chris Tyerson, Ruiz, and Langham, etc. Viega getting off the football right now, controlling the line of scrimmage, Will.
2nd and 6 from the 38 after Simmons runs for 4. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Quick bullet, right side. He's got Ngata around the corner, and a big gain, knocked out near the 23. First down, Bulldogs. They spotted at the 22. Gain of 16. Nice play. Curry to the end zone. No, wow.
No,
he faked me out on that one.
He run that draw, fake pass draw. Had to put at the end of the scoreless quarter.
End of the third, you know, Simmons looks like he's got fresh legs. I'm led to believe that the Folsom conditioning is tremendous. We'll be right back. Just ahead, fourth quarter drama.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home Walk Restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Well, there you see the difference in this ball game. 7 points. A scoreless third quarter has placed an unusual change upon the complexion of this contest. Still anybody's game, but things slowed way down in that quarter.
Well,
and again, we'd like to direct special thanks to Casa Ramos Restaurant here in Folsom, and what a spectacular crew meal that they provided for our television outfit tonight. Mini burritos, taquitos, and quesadillas. Special thanks to manager Carlos Ramos for supporting the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Thank you, Carlos. So Folsom looking for an insurance touchdown. Eric Davis had an end around last week, and he breaks loose to the corner. Touchdown, Bulldogs from 18. Wow. Eric Davis, a receiver threat and a run threat and a return threat. 34-21, and there is the insurance TD the Bulldogs have been trying for since the second quarter when they had 4 straight TDs. So Troy Calderara on for the point after touchdown out of the hold of Brad Jenner, placed, booted, wow, power leg, got it.
Have another look at that touchdown run. Watch Davis come around the corner, inside, outside, has a speed and goes to the corner.
We'll be right back for more action from Folsom High School.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home Walk Restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Well, in a game of ups and downs and twists and turns, it continues to spin here at Folsom High School. Prairie City Stadium, the site for a sellout crowd and a wild ball game. Second-ranked Folsom scoring an insurance TD to now lead the 10th ranked Jesuit Marauders 35-21, but a long way to go. Pooch kick. Is that Burks with the pill? Good field position upcoming for the Marauders. And like I said, a long way to go. 11:49 as we open the fourth quarter. And Jesuit will open shop in excellent field position here. Looks like about the 37. Josh Farr on in relief of the injured Calvin Brownholtz. Unable to generate significant offense since coming off the bench. Normally a wide receiver, forced into the QB role. But maybe he's steadied down. He looks to throw deep. A bump and an incomplete pass and another flag. Woo-wee. Sean Johnson, if it's on him, that's 3 in one game, and he's an all-leaguer. Their second leading tackler from a year ago, second to Brad Jenner. And if we've got a replay, I wouldn't mind seeing that twice, but now an official's confrontation. Are they going to wipe it out? Here's the Brian Jacobs call. Boy, I'll tell you, this Folsom crowd has had about enough.
Personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty. That results in a first down.
Oh, boy. Ooh-wee. This might set a world record for penalties in a game for Folsom in the last decade. And maybe number of penalties and penalty yards. They're all major penalties. First down at the Bulldog 47. Good size hole.
Gets
some hard hitting there.
Some big hitting going in there.
According to the calculations of our executive statistician, Gary Martin, Folsom has now been tagged with 11 penalties for 142 yards. And what, half a dozen first downs off that?
Well, on their way for 200. And, you know, these officials in these games, once again, they can drop a flag every play if they want to.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 now from the Bulldog 42. Turn and give. Short yardage, angling left.
Looks like Gallagher's in the ball game now, the linebacker, the junior linebacker in there in that backfield spot.
Burks is in there. So 3rd and 3 after gain of 2 from the 40. Farr keeps, fakes the pitch, and gets dropped, and he may have a first down here.
Well,
at about
I think with the right measurement, he's got a first down.
36-yard line.
Yeah. Farr getting a lot of experience here in that second half. This is good for him. An opportunity here with Brownholtz on the sideline. Jesuit putting together a nice drive here, aided by an abundance of flags, but still moving the ball down the field.
Burks with the carry and the first down run. Ezra Gularich with the tackle. Fresh set of downs for Josh Farr and the Marauder offense, under 10 minutes to go. And
Burks
again,
trying to get off early.
And again, some of this may be attributable to the starting offense being unfamiliar.
Ball, false start on
with
the
Farr.
offense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, it's the
cadence,
cadence, quarterback cadence as well, as they're getting some new people in there. But once again, Farr can control that tempo a little better than he is.
1st and 15 from the 41. Nothing doing. 5 Bulldogs to shut that down. Jenner was there, and Rutherford had nowhere to go.
Big loss, second and long yardage. I like to see if Jesuit can do anything underneath. They really go vertical, and they go corners, and they don't have anything delayed inside via a tight end or running back.
Here's a 2nd and 14, 9:10 to go. Look left and throw right. Incomplete. You know, he threaded that needle, I do believe. And a good shot at that. Jamie Thomas unable to hang on. I wouldn't mind seeing that one again. That was a pretty nice throw by Josh Farr.
That was a good throw. That was an outstanding throw. He had some velocity on the football. His timing was good, but again, 3rd and long. Farr 0 for 4 thus far.
.905 is where the clock stopped after the incompletion. He's going upstairs again. Throws short over the middle to no one in particular, incomplete.
Well, he's not getting much time, and he's on his back pedal. Not getting much time, thrown off the back foot. And now they're in a 4th and 15. Obviously, Jesuit will not punt the ball here, Will. They've got to go for it.
Well, they need 14 to keep the drive alive. Still plenty of time here. 9:01 left in the 4th. 35-21, Bulldogs by 14. Better protection this time. Deep throw to the corner, broken up.
Great play.
Sean Johnson not getting flagged that time.
Very nice defensive effort on Johnson. He was there all the way and knew where the ball was, had great field presence. He had that receiver in his hip pocket, Will.
He did. He's had a shaky game tonight, being flagged 3 times for pass interference, but he was on the money that time. In the penalty department, Jesuit 8 flags for 50, and in glaring contrast, 11 penalties charged against host Folsom for 142 yards. 5 of those resulted in a first down. 2 of the 8 for Jesuit resulting in first downs. I'd say there's a little disparity there. However, I got to compliment Brian Jacobs and his crew. Not an easy game to manage, and everybody in the stadium has a different point of view. So 1st down and 10 upcoming, but what have we got here, Coach? Delay of game. Each squad has been hit with one of those.
Well, all you got to watch is the deep judge. He gives you the 5-second left signal, and the quarterback has got to pay attention to that.
1st and 15, and there's a 6-yard blast that gets back the penalty yardage. Nice power run there.
I see Folsom in no hurry here, Will. Control the clock, game management. Okay, you got a 2-touchdown lead. It doesn't mean you're conservative. You know, they like to score a lot of points.
Davin Simmons broke off a 6-yard burst there. Curry fires out to the right side and got it with the grab. And they're calling it incomplete, I believe. So as you say, Coach Dimino, Folsom up 14. Now can look at the clock a little bit with just over 8 minutes to go in this one.
Well, right now they got the game under control, and they're using the clock wisely. They don't really have to throw the ball.
But Curry does, and it's broken up. Going for Eric Davis there.
And a nice job in there by, nice defense in
Gallagher.
there.
So that brings up 4th and 9.
Of course, they don't want to punt. I don't think that is in their terminology.
Curry rolls, looks, throws to the sideline. He's got a grab from Eric Davis, and he's got first down yardage near the Jesuit 45.
Well, tough to defend, and he loves rolling out. To me, he appears to loves to roll right. He's right in rhythm when he's rolling right.
Well, in that deep receiving core that Curry has, last week it was Stallworth with the 10 grabs, 4 for TDs. Tonight it's been Eric Davis, Eric Davis, Eric Davis.
Oh yeah, quality receiver.
Here's a toss, left side running. And again, Brandon Rupchuk has stabilized that running game along with Davin Simmons. And I think we're going to see a lot of those guys this year.
Without a doubt.
Flags have been flying tonight here at Prairie City Stadium. And I think to such an extent that nobody in the stadium really has been too delighted about that. So Brian Jacobs restoring order with his crew from the NCOA has another call.
Illegal block in the back on the offense, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Okay, -10, 2nd and 20. Block in the back. Curry rolls, looks and fires, sideline route. Nice scoop catch. Excellent effort right there. And again, what's his name? I remember now. Eric Davis.
Eric Davis a few times.
A few?
You know, when they roll right, they run a double out. They run one out at about 7 or 8. They run the other out between 14 to 16. And the 14 to 16 route is wide open.
This was above average.
Here it is. Right there, 16, 18-yard catch. Nice. Put it between the sideline and him, and it's all green.
Up the gut running.
Rupchuk looks always tough running up the gut there. Looks like him. He's been solid all night running up the gut.
Clock rolling. And stopped now at 7:09. 1st and 10 from the 31. Right side. You know, Rupchuk has and Davin Simmons have really formed a beautiful tandem. Chris Richardson along that Folsom sideline. Want to remind you that at the conclusion of tonight's ball game, we'll be selecting a player of the game from each squad, and our Rick Stewart will be interviewing those outstanding players in our post-game segment. Meantime, Curry hands off. Rupchuk again, big hole, zigzag move, and he's inside the 20. First and 10. That run coming on a 2nd and 5 play. Move the stakes. 9-yard gains to the 17. Rupchuk now 8 carries for 88 yards. Simmons 16 for 142. Curry fires. He's got a hook up out to the right side. Eric Davis. Not much of a, maybe even a slight loss there, but you know he's quite a receiver. Clock rolling at the 6-minute mark. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the 15. Out to the right side.
There's Stallworth. We haven't heard much of him tonight. He's been in hiding somewhere.
Well, that may be so, but Eric Davis showed up.
Davis is something.
And you know what? At the end of this ball game, we're going to see some nice stats through the air by Curry to his wonderful receivers. So 3rd and 1 from the 8, 5:11 to go. Gain of 7 on that last play.
Well, they're milking the clock out now. He maxed the clock out and then called the timeout. So that's a smart move here. They're not in any hurry.
Timeout taken. We'll step back. Don't wander off. 4:55 to go.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back. We're coming down the home stretch here at Prairie City Stadium on the campus of Folsom High. This is Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week, and host Folsom falling behind early in this one, then fighting off a serious bid by Jesuit High in full command right now. Tough up the middle running. And you gave a compliment earlier in the ball game to Micah Iverson, the big back in that trio of Folsom runners.
And a great defensive effort on his part. Very impressive defensive player. Mike Iverson runs a little high, but I tell you, he'll learn. He'll get that ped level down.
Touchdown, Bulldogs. Gotta pay dirt, Folsom. It comes at the 4:36 mark here late in the fourth to stretch that Folsom lead now to 41-21. Joe Ngata. Lots of targets for Joe Curry.
Joe Ngata coming off a big win, big night against Coeur d'Alene last week, and Folsom just stretching it out into a comfortable doubling the score of Jesuit, 42-21, and with
well, Troy Calderara perfect on his PATs. We'll be right back after this short break as the Bulldogs now have scored again.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back with Jim Domino and Rick Stewart. I'm Will James. We have 4:36 left here in the fourth quarter as Folsom is set to kick off after scoring another TD, leading now 42-21 here in this top 10 battle with 10th ranked Jesuit. The number 2 Bulldogs coming alive despite many penalties tonight, slowing their attack. Rutherford weaves his way up to about the 25. And yes, you're correct, Coach Domino. The 42 points compiled by Folsom this evening have been bunched into 2 quarters, the second and the fourth. 6 TDs, 42 points. Troy Calderara, perfect 6 for 6.
Impressed with his kicking, and of course, I can see why Folsom doesn't list a punter, and if it is, it's, I guess, Curry, but doesn't
he had
have
a 43-yarder tonight. From the 26, Burks pushing hard to get himself over the 100-yard barrier. He's been tough tonight. An underclassman listed as a 6'2", 225-pound junior, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to try to stop him.
Well, no, I was down on the field next to him, and he's all of that, believe me. He's an outside linebacker, and possible in the future. I know he's a long way to go, a possible college prospect.
I would think so. We'll be right back to the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
.407, clock rolling, late fourth. Jesuit trying to get up the field for one more score. Josh Farr running the show from the quarterback position after a second half injury to starter Calvin Brownholtz, and that certainly hurt their cause.
Well, they certainly have showed with that veer counter dive tonight. They've run that play numerous times, along with the cross buck action. Running that veer offense, very similar to De La Salle, as Coach Planton, who played for De La Salle, has brought that up here to the Valley in Jesuit High School.
Burks trying to get outside and does to some measure, but great cover-up tackling by that secondary and linebacking core, holding that to about a 2 or 3 yard push.
One of the things that impresses me tonight with this Folsom defense is their team pursuit on D. They get a lot of people at the football. They're not that big. They're real quick on D, and they get there.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Burks, a tough customer to stop, but that pursuit he spoke of, very impressive. 3-minute mark now. Burks has got to be getting close to 100 yards in the game.
Well, I would think so, very close. And I'm sure he'll see a few more carries before the night's over.
18 for 102, thank you, Gary. And they get across the 45 to about the 46. Rutherford. That's a nice tandem.
Well, it is. And Rutherford's only going to get stronger. He's got 2 more years of eligibility. And certainly those two are going to gain their yards this year. Nice line up front with Bellinger and company leading the way. Bellinger and a stipular forward. Marchant, Johnson, Essinelli.
3rd and 4 now from the Marauder 46. Farr trying to work upfield.
Yeah, he almost lost the football there. There's a late flag.
I won't even speculate on this one as we see referee Brian Jacobs conferring. flag comes at the 1:59 mark. Next week, we have something a little bit different for you on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week menu. And it's one of the events.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, 15-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Ah, yes.
Wait for us, guys, wait for.
Competition. Let's post that graphic if we can, because we're looking forward to next week's special presentation. We're going indoors next week to do some high-class girls volleyball as St. Francis will travel over to the El Camino Eastern vicinity, to a location you're familiar with, to take on the El Camino Eagles. Well, the walk-off carries the football to the Folsom 40-yard line.
Hey, we're jacked up. We're jacked up.
Yes, the 6 penalties, 6 of the total penalties resulting in first downs. Farr cranks it up for the far sideline. Incomplete. Double coverage. Clock stopping at the 1:48. Couldn't see well if that was Jamie Thomas. Not a pretty nice throw there by Josh Farr. Well, for the better part of the evening, this crowd was treated to a mistake-filled but a rather entertaining football game with a lot of unexpectedness punctuating the action for three-plus quarters.
Well, they could have called one there. There was a necktie on the far sideline. They did not call it. Okay, Burks just got necktied, and it was a no call.
There's a lot of number 2s in there for that Folsom defense now.
Yeah, what I'm saying, the officials just let it go.
So it comes down to 3rd and 4 from the 33. The clock stopping again at the 1:38 mark. Jesuit continuing to move up the field.
Well, he looks short, Will. He just ran a straight dive there, and he looks about a yard short.
He is. They'll go for it on 4th.
Yeah, they have to. The clock is running down.
Well, certainly a disappointing second half for the Marauders, but lots of upside for Marlon Blanton and staff to focus on as well.
Well, Lorenzo Burks getting a lot of action here and carrying a load and picking up experience. We saw him last year. We were impressed with him. But he had to play behind Milton a little bit.
Devin, stay off. Stay off. Stay off, Dev.
45 seconds. Burks again working right, cuts it, gets inside the 20 before he's shoved back.
Well, he's carried the workload tonight, hasn't he, Will?
He has indeed. Now he's a tough power back, can absorb a lot of punishment and deal out a lot of punishment.
He is. He's a big, strong man and does a good job at outside linebacker as well.
No, we have a lot of admiration for two-way starters. Can't say enough about it. Burks now a workhorse with 21 carries for 114, 5.4 the average. His long was 34. He definitely showed up in a big game.
Well, we did, and both he and when you look at he and Rupchek from Folsom, you're talking about two-way guys. That's rare today, and you know they're the real guys. They're football players. They don't get very few breaks.
Oh, total admiration. So after a brief timeout, Folsom retakes the field. Maybe a word to the wise by the Folsom coaching staff. Let's get through this last 31 seconds without anything crazy. 42-21 Bulldogs, the number 2 Folsom squad rolling. The run play by far gets near the 10.
Far on a bootleg keeper.
Got to admire their determination here to try to get up the field for one more score. Substitute quarterback on the road.
No, I give Jesuit all the credit in the world, and I think that from what I've seen here in their win over Granite Bay and tonight, never giving up against a good Folsom squad, I think that Coach Planton and his staff are ready for a pretty good season now. It's a tough Delta League they're in, but I think that certainly I think they're in the mix for their title in that league.
I do. This was a good early season test for a ball club that had a lot of questions that needed to be answered. And more work to be done on the drawing board, but I'm one for looking at the upside. Under center, Josh Farr, the wide receiver, playing quarterback tonight due to the Brown-Holtz injury. Fires right. Rutherford to the goal line. Touchdown, Marauders! From 12 yards out. It comes at 15 seconds. Late fourth, and that one more score was important. Leave on an upside note, regardless of the circumstances and who's on the field at the time.
Well, Cervantes has to come in and kick because Brown-Holtz is injured.
42-27, trying to tack on another one. He hits it a mile, and it's a bullseye.
Wow, 42-28.
Oh,
kicking.
my goodness. No, that was all the way out of the
Put
stadium.
that ball out of the stadium.
So credit the Marauders, never say die, driving the field late for a TD here to close within 42-28 in what has been $11 plays, 74 yards, 421. Well, one of the bright spots tonight, aside from the touchdowns, the Casa Ramos Mexican restaurant here in Folsom. They treated us like royalty with a meal for our television crew that was just out of sight. Special thanks to the Casa Ramos restaurant here in Folsom. What a spectacular crew meal we received. Mini burritos, taquitos, quesadillas. Special thanks to manager Carlos Ramos for supporting the hometown sports game of the week. 42-28. Number 2 Folsom holding off the 10th ranked Jesuit. The Marauders try for an onside kick to get one more extra shot, couple plays. So I guess you're gonna do your next week's Domino's dozen and take a look at all the results and put them where they belong.
Well, I certainly will. It wasn't an easy choice in Del Oro and Folsom. They're right there, and of course Elk Grove 3. They're all bunched up early, and you know, on any given night, all three of those teams right now, and a bunch of others that are 3, 4, 5. Oak Ridge has got a great ball club this year.
Well, those first 3, 4, 5, they're so close, as John Wayne would say, I'd hate to have to live on the difference.
Yeah, you just never know. We don't know what's happening in the other portions of town yet tonight. We do know that Monterey Trail is kind of handling Del Campo at halftime.
Well, Curry takes the snap and takes a knee with 15 seconds left, and as James Cagney would say, the examination's over. The final countdown here on a wild ball game tonight on a Friday night under the lights to kick off a Labor Day holiday weekend. Number 2 stops number 10 by a final count of 42-28. We want you to stick around because we have all kinds of goodies coming up in the post-game segment, including our Rick Stewart, who will be visiting with the players of the game and perhaps the winning coach. That would be Chris Richardson. Stick around, more to come on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning, 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Well, the verdict is in, and the decision is final this evening in Folsom, where at Prairie City Stadium on a beautiful Friday evening to kick off a Labor Day holiday weekend, the number 2 ranked Folsom Bulldogs, after sputtering early in a mistake-filled evening, stop 10th ranked Jesuit by a final score of 42-28. And Jim Domino, we saw a lot of resolve out of these Bulldogs that got hammered tonight with possibly a world record number of penalties. And a new quarterback, same system, same vaunted head coach, and in the end, their composure was the difference tonight against a hard-working, determined Jesuit ball club.
Well, Coach Richardson and his staff have been in many big games, and they showed tonight what they're made of. Yes, they bunch their scoring in two quarters, the second and the fourth quarter. And you know, they played solid defense. They gave up some touchdowns early and with a lot of penalty help. But you know what? They had great resolve, and their expectations, this goes down to the players from the coaches. and from the previous players. So they've got a tradition going here. Their standards are very high. The players know that. And you better play up to expectations on what the coaches expect of you. But most of all, what you expect of yourself, of course, the people, the predecessors have set the tone. So once again, Folsom showed what they're made of tonight here again. And certainly they're going to be reckoned with as one of the top teams in the area again.
No doubt, and well said, Jim. Two words there just leap out at me: expectations and successors. It's the system here that is so impressive. When the great players graduate that have been stars for 2 or 3 seasons, it's simply amazing how they fill those slots because of their system, the lower level development of these ball players. And we just saw a fantastic example of basically 6 or 7 players on each side of the football that were not doing anything a year ago except learning and improving.
Exactly, and there were many examples, 2 of which we pointed out numerous times tonight. Simmons and Rupchak played very little last year behind Neal and Green, 2 good ones. Yet look at the performance they put on. And let's not count out that blocking up front. Tremendous blocking.
And it's still a work in progress. That offensive line, which is really Chris Richardson's pride and joy, he's working with them and bringing them along. And I know they had a grueling summer. And as you say, expectations are colossal and standards are set and are not to be compromised. So I have total admiration for this program, which is a program and does have a super duper system. We've reached that point in time, Coach, where our Rick Stewart has gathered our 2 selected players of the game. So maybe we can see a graphic and let everybody else in on it, because they had a whale of a game tonight. For the Jesuit Marauders, hard-working, hard-running junior big back Lorenzo Burks, over 100 yards tonight, representing Big Red beautifully. And Brandon Rupchuk of Folsom, 2-way starter, as is Burks. Simply impressive. Rick Stewart has them along the sideline. Let's go down to Rick.
Tonight you probably can. All right, we're here with their players of the game. Number 15, Lorenzo Burks from Jesuit. Lorenzo, you came in here expecting a good battle. You got it, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We came in here expecting that this team was going to be rough. We knew that they had the outside players to they perfect their offense. So we knew that we had to come out here, play strong defense. But today they did better than we did today. So
now Brownholtz got hurt, obviously in the first half. Sometime he didn't play at all in the second half. Did that disrupt the offensive flow at all?
Not at all. For practice, number 10 and Brownholtz, they both go off during practice. So when his number was called, he was ready.
Okay, there were a lot of penalties in the game. Is that indicative of early season, or was it just like questionable calls?
Well, I think it's because more early season, got the jitters, but we just gotta play.
Well, you got a good team this year. You had a tough year last year, but you did step up last week. You played a good, solid game tonight. As a junior, you got your future ahead of you, young man.
I just try to take it game by game. It's really not me, it's the line. With our offense, without my line, I wouldn't do anything. So it's really up to them.
All right, Lorenzo. Best of luck the rest of the year. Good job. Good job. All right, we're going to turn over here. Brandon, one heck of a game tonight. Okay? What's more important, the rushing touchdown or the catching a touchdown from another running back?
Probably the rushing touchdown, sir.
Okay, all right. First and foremost, sir, that's okay. It's polite. I appreciate it. The game tonight. Early on, it was a little bit of a battle. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth. There were a lot of possessions in the first half. What was going on?
Well, the defense, we kind of just were being stopped and stuff. The offense, Jesuit, they were working us, and then, but when we stepped apart, then we came back in. We were doing good.
Okay, you came out in the second half. You forced them over on downs several times. What was the difference with the defense, your defense, in the second half?
Our execution. Our execution, the way we play, our second half is just great. The way we do it, even from last year, was amazing.
Okay, now last week you had a ton of yards passing. Curry had a great night, first start. Tonight, the rushing attack, and I haven't seen the numbers in that, but the running attack looked like it was ready to go.
Yes, sir. No, the running back game was just viral today. I think every week, I think we'll just be stepping up our game. the running backs, but it was a good game today.
Good job. I noticed you had some ice on your knee. How's that doing?
It's good. It's good. I just tweaked it a little bit. We'll be fine.
All right, Brandon, good job tonight. Several touchdowns, receiving 1, 2, that was cool, and a couple rushing too. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, young man, take care. All right, Coach, 2-0.
Yep.
Was there a thought? I mean, is there pressure? I mean, 50 games in a row within the section?
No, we don't talk about that, right? You know, we're just trying to get better day by day and taking the next opponent, you know, one game at a time. You know, we talk about, you know, we've had great teams in the past, and our kids are very aware of it. But the reality is, nothing that previous teams have done. This is this year's 2016 team, and again, it's game by game. You know, we scheduled tough teams in the preseason. Coeur d'Alene, who's going to compete for an Idaho State championship. Jesuit, very good football team. You know, so you want early season games like this that are going to challenge you. So when you get into league games, the SFL, you know, with the Del Oros and the Granite Bays and the Oak Ridges, you want tough battles and be battle tested. And you know, that's a great football team. We're a great football team. That was a heck of a game. You know, again, both teams, I'd probably tell you, you know, that the flags were flying maybe a little too much, and you know, but you got to adjust to that. And I think our kids settled down. I think we were a little rattled maybe in the first quarter with a little, you know, wondering what the refs were doing, throwing too many flags. But that's part of football. So you got to play the next play. And we calmed down and got it going.
Well, second quarter was a totally different ball game from the first. There was a lot of up and down in the first quarter. Yeah. You guys took over in the second quarter.
Yeah, you know, again, we committed to the run game. You know, they were playing a lot of guys in coverage, you know, based off what they saw, you know, in game 0 versus Coeur d'Alene. Obviously, we were able to shoot the lights out with the pass game. Well, so they committed to everyone in the pass game, and probably trying to throw it a little too much early on my part. But once we settled down, committed to the run game, I think our rush numbers were pretty good. I think we pounded the rock really well second and third quarter.
All right, Coach, where do you go from here? What's up next week, and what are you going to work on this week?
You know, we'll watch tape. We'll go home tonight, watch tape tomorrow morning with the guys, get them through a little workout and stretch, get everybody healthy again. And again, we'll just see what we need to fix and continue to execute our offensive and defensive game plans. You know, we've got Pleasant Grove next week, and, you know, we take one opponent at a time. We don't look past anybody, you know, so we'll be prepared for Pleasant Grove, and, you know, we'll just keep getting better. That's the goal.
11 o'clock, you'll be watching a game, I can tell you.
I'm excited.
All right, Coach, good luck in the rest of the season. All right. Guys, back to you. It's a great game tonight. Perfect night for it. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Yes, wonderful evening tonight. Couldn't have been better. Most of these folks are wearing shorts and short sleeves. Ideal for Friday night under the lights here in the fall. And the home team stepped it up when they needed to and emerged with an important victory. Though it's a non-leaguer, it went miles in maintaining, not establishing, but maintaining that winning edge and that standard you spoke of, Coach.
Very definitely. Their standards are high, their expectations are high. And when you hear the confidence level of Coach Richardson, having been to regional championship, sectional finals, states, and this speaks volumes of their program. And they're very confident of their kids. And again, they have to address whatever it takes. They'll go back, look at tape, get everybody healthy, etc. And once again, he's summing up exactly what they do. They believe soundly in fundamentals. And I'm just very impressed with this victory, as well as the resilience of Jesuit hanging in there in this football game.
Tip of the cap to the visitors as well. Well, let's take a look at the final numbers in this wild encounter tonight, compiled by our executive statistician, Gary Martin. The final stats, as you see here, wowee.
Well, there you have it, those rushing yards, quite a difference in that second half, particularly when they unleashed that running attack with Simmons and Rupchuk. Passing yardage reasonably close. Total offense at least 100 yards more plus. Look at the first downs, actually. Jesuit holding an edge there. Penalties were way, way out of whack. Turnovers, again, 4-1. But I believe all those turnovers were all in the first half. I don't know if we had one turnover in the second half, quite frankly. And then time of possession down here again. Jesuit having time of possession, but the scoreboard indicates that in the second and fourth quarter, Folsom played big, scoring all their points in 2 quarters.
And we heard Coach Richardson at the end of the interview with Rick talk about how that run game really pounded it out hard in the second half with that 278. And let's isolate 2 guys that were mainly responsible. Simmons ran for 142 and Rupchuk 102. a tandem of 100-yard rushers there combining for 250 or so. Very impressive considering that the passing game was the featured statistic a week ago.
Well, everyone talks about their passing game for years and years and years. But you and I know, having seen them 2, 3, 4 times a year, how important that run game is to keep balance and keep the defense on edge. If you're going to start spreading the field and with their wide receivers, you're giving those running backs running lanes inside, and they're capitalizing on it.
Well, let's take a look at what's happening around the region in other high school football matchups. Del Oro, the defending state champions, taking on a very powerful Pleasant Valley of Chico, and the Golden Eagles rolled 29-9 under head coach Casey Taylor. Elsewhere, Grant 42-14 over Burbank. Rockland taking out Napa 28-16. Oak Ridge 41-15 over Vacaville. And the ever impressive, continuing to impress, Whitney 41-21. Granite Bay has been dumped 2 weeks in a row to start the season. Inderkum coming off the loss to Elk Grove in the second quarter on top 22-13 over El Cerrito. Antelope rolling up 56 on Lincoln, 56-17. Monterey Trail against Del Campo. Boy, oh boy, those Mustangs 48-21. Pretty impressive. TJ Ewing's outfit. Vista 34-27 over Pioneer. Nevada Union in a low-scoring squeaker. Very uncharacteristic for Joey's Placer outfit. The Miners 16-12. Sheldon and returning head coach Joe Catolico put 50 on Casa Roble, 50-7. Wowee, Pleasant Grove got blanked 49-zip against Marysville. And our last game here, Casumnas Oaks in a low-scoring affair, stopping Liberty Ranch 7-0. And this just in, Roseville 35-7 in the fourth quarter, leading Rio Olinda big. I think we know that head coach over there, don't we?
Coach Cunha with 2-0.
Larry Cunha in a tough conference, making a mark early. So there's your scoreboard from around the circuit. Gary Martin again putting that together very nicely for us. And another reminder, next week for the Hometown Sports Game of the Week, we're going indoors, as we always do at least once during the fall, to highlight girls' sports around the area. Another top-notch girls volleyball match will be at El Camino High School, where the Eagles will play host to perennial power St. Francis for next week's televised event. Access Sacramento and the Hometown Sports Game of the Week television crew wish to extend their deep appreciation to the Folsom High School administration, particularly Athletic Director Lisa Finley and Head Coach Chris Richardson, for their cooperation and assistance with the broadcast arrangements for this television production. The Hometown Sports Game of the Week is a special sports presentation of Access Sacramento in association with Play-by-Play Sports Productions. For the Imperator, Jim Domino, Rick Stewart, our executive statistician Gary Martin, game director Ronicia Harris, engineer Richard Langley, everything Danny Mendonson, and the entire Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew. I'm Will James. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to the next occasion when we can get together. So long, everyone.
From Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week is available for purchase on DVD. For more information, call Access Sacramento, 916-456-8600, extension 0. This has been a Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast from Access Sacramento. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.